Hello, Gatemen fans, and welcome on in to Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth ahead of Game 2 of the Western Division Finals between your Wareham Gatemen and the Falmouth Commodores. At Spillane last night, it was a knockdown, drag-out, 4-3 gutsy victory for the Gatemen. So that means a win tonight, and they will sweep the best 2 out of 3 series for the second time in as many playoff series and advance to the Cape Cod League Finals. Hello everyone, alongside me Henrique Demore, I'm Cameron Stewart, bringing you action tonight. First pitch in a little less than a half an hour at 6 o'clock here at Gov Fuller. And Henrique, we have seen 2 very similar games at home for the Gatemen this year, some real tough-as-nails type games.
Yeah, been a lot of very, like you said, Cam, tough-as-nails games that really showed a lot of the character of this team. We haven't seen a lot of close wins for the game. We've seen a lot of close losses for Wareham. Some of the close wins have come
this production of Wareham Gatemen
was uncomfortable when Brewster was a bottom-feeding team, but now they're in the East Division Finals. Granted, they're trailing Chatham 1-0. But bottom line, the Gatemen bullpen often hasn't been up to the task of holding small leads. We talked about it all season, how the Gatemen bullpen pitches most comfortably with a big lead, which makes a lot of sense, obviously. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to deduce why. But it's been good to see that the Gatemen bullpen has been a little more up to the task in that sense, especially the likes of Joey Barron. A guy who has been, for all intents and purposes, extremely solid for Wareham, ran himself into a little bit of a similar situation. His last 2 late-inning, high-leverage situations, both against Katuitt, were both near meltdowns, and one of them was in the playoffs. He gave up 2 runs and almost blew the save. Ran into a little bit of trouble here. Granted, it was much less his fault. He was helped out by a couple of tough breaks defensively. Not really anything on the Gatemen fielders, but just a couple really tough balls to field, but managed to squeeze out of it. Still has no walks on the season, which I think is just remarkably impressive amidst all the pressure. I mean, we talk about how the Cape League is a pressure cooker and could turn even some phenomenal players into mincemeat. Guys start beating themselves because they can't get out of their own heads. But out of Division II, Lackawanna College, the Falcon Joey Barron has done phenomenal work for the Gatemen, and he has been the closest thing the Gatemen have had to a closer all year, and exactly the right time.
And Barron with the save in Game 1 against Katuitt at Spillane, and with the win last night finishing things off. Just real quick on Barron, you mentioned how good he's been for the Gatemen all year. How big is it that he will probably be on the shelf for the remainder of the playoffs, or at least most of the remainder of the playoffs for the Gatemen?
It's going to be tough because then we talked about how big it was that the Gatemen were able to get the win yesterday with just 2 pitchers. One of those was Barron, but the Gatemen are going to have to do that going forward. Otherwise, you get into the bullpen and you get the likes of Carter Bach, Brendan Salucci, and Alex Stiegler, and Serafino Brito. Not there's anything wrong with those guys, but those guys were brought in as fillers. They were brought in to do mop-up duty. They have not seen Cape League hitting on a consistent basis. They're here because a bunch of other guys went home. Right, so they're in tougher spots, and they're not the guys you put in high leverage playoff situations. So you're going to need to get 3 or 4 innings out of guys. Sometimes you might get 1 or 2 out of. Cody Carroll comes to mind, right? I mean, even Joey Barron with his 3 innings, that was his longest of the year. He'd only gone 1 or 2 in any given outing before that. So it's just going to get tougher, and you need longer outings out of guys. I mean, the fact that Zach Hart went 6 innings yesterday was an anomaly. You're not going to usually get, Ryan Garcia, the Gatemen ace. He's usually pretty efficient with his pitches, but he's going to have to go 6 or 7 if the Gatemen want to, have a fighting chance in their last. They got to get 3 more wins to win it all here. It's just going to be a lot tougher. Arms are going to get stretched, and just by the nature of the Cape League, that might not always be a possibility. So you might have to go with quantity over quality as far as arms.
And a lot of the teams that are still left obviously worn thin on the pitching side, but for the Gatemen offensively last night, didn't leave a lot of guys on base. Part of that had to do with timely hitting, but also grounded into a couple of double plays. How good was the efficiency for the offense last night, and is it going to be enough going forward?
It's been pretty darn good, and I think it will be enough going forward against Falmouth, but against Chatham/Brewster in the next round, should the Gatemen get out of this round, it's going to be a bit of a different story. Because Chatham and Brewster, they are teams that put up a lot of runs on the Gatemen. Falmouth, not as much. The most runs that Falmouth have put up on the Gatemen is 5. These have all been really, really close games that these 2 teams have played against each other. So I think given the strength of the Gatemen pitching staff for 1 more game here, I think it will be enough. But you're going to need a couple more of the 10-run 9th inning. Maybe not exactly that against Katuitt, but you're going to need a little more explosive offensive firepower. And like you said, Cam, incredibly efficient, incredibly timely hitting yesterday for the Gatemen. Only 3 Gatemen had multiple hits, but Austin Shenton, Ryan Kreisler, and Skylar Hunter were the heroes in that game. They each had an RBI. Isaac Collins with a big opposite field triple, but everybody else kind of ran into a little bit of a ran into a little bit of some stumbling blocks. Drew Millis, despite an 0 for 4, he did hit a couple balls hard, but like you said, there were a couple double plays that, looking back on it, seem a lot less painful because the Gatemen came away with the win, so you can kind of flush that one and focus on today. But those could have been a lot bigger. I mean, we can look back at one of the 4 RBIs that the Gatemen had was a bloop single by Skylar Hunter that really he got because one, Ryan Kreisler had the gutsiest steal of third base I'd seen all season. That was a truly awesome play by the UCLA product, but also because of just some unfortunate outfield positioning, not wrong outfield positioning by the Commodores outfield, but they were positioned in a spot where a little bloop hit like that ended up being the difference.
So that's going to do it for me and Henrique right now, and for the rest of the pregame show, we're going to toss it over to our host today, Mr. J.D. Rachi.
Thank you very much, Cam Stewart and Henrique Demore. As they said, I'm your host, J.D. Rachi, getting you ready for first pitch in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals coming up in just about 15 minutes or so. And what I'll get you started with is the starting pitching matchup. A couple of Connecticut right-handers going on the mound today for either team. First, for the visiting Gatemen, it'll be the right-hander out of Hartford, Nathan Florence. Florence coming into this game with a 5.74 ERA in 7 games, mostly out of the bullpen. Although he has made 2 starts, he's gone 15 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 13 walks, and 19 strikeouts. But over the last couple of days, he has been much, much better over his last couple of outings. He has kind of been the guy that has started a lot of bullpen days, a lot of staff days, although the Gatemen are going to try to get a couple of innings out of him as quickly as possible and as much as they can, because in his last 2 games, both of them starts, he's been really, really good against the YD Red Sox out in Hartford at the Hartford Yardgood Stadium at Dunkin' Donuts Park. He went 4 innings, gave up just 1 run on 1 hit. It was a solo homer to Nick Quintana, and he had 6 Ks in that game against what was then, and really what was all season, the best offense in the league in the YD Red Sox. Then his last outing, a start against Bourne back on August 1st, the home game before the end of the season. 3 innings, 2 no runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The whip is a little bit high. Walks plus hits per innings pitched at 1.66, so he does allow a lot of base runners. However, he has gotten much better as the season has gone on. Those 13 walks are a little bit concerning, but a lot of them came in the early part of the season. He's only gone 1 appearance without a walk, and that was against Falmouth back here in that game where the Gatemen got 3 hits shut out. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs on 1 hit. It was an Austin Langworthy 2-run home run, so he has got to keep the ball down. The home run has been a problem for him all year, but he is going to be leaving soon. This will likely be his last appearance with the Gatemen. If he can end it off on a good note, he has certainly been trending in the right direction. Meanwhile, for the Falmouth Commodores today, it'll be the right-hander, the 3-time first-team All-Ivy League member, Scott Politz out of Yale, out of Austin, Texas. 6'2", 195 pounds. He started the season with Falmouth, was released in the middle part of the season, and then re-signed for the playoff push, and he's been pretty good. A 4.60 ERA in 6 starts. He's gone 29 in the 3rd innings, given up 32 hits with 7 walks and 22 strikeouts. So the hit numbers are a bit high. He gives up more than a hit per inning, but the walk numbers are very low at just 7 walks compared to 22 strikeouts. Much like Nathan Florence, the last outing, or actually the opposite of Nathan Florence, I should say, the last couple of outings have really been a struggle for him. He got released in the midway part of July, so after he was re-signed, July 24th at Hyannis, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. Then in his last outing on August 1st against Katuitt, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, but his worst outing of the season by far was the one right before he got released in a 17-7 win for the Falmouth Commodores over the Katuitt Kettleers. He started the game, went 4 innings, gave up 5 earned runs with 7 hits and 5 strikeouts. So it's kind of Jekyll and Hyde, which we have seen from a lot of pitchers this season for the Gatemen and also for opponents. We're going to have to see what we get out of Scott Politz tonight because, as we mentioned, 3-time first-team All-Ivy League member. He has got the stuff. He is a good pitcher. It's just what he brings to the table. If the Gatemen can get on top of him like they did Adam Lasky last night, they will certainly be in good shape. So it's going to be Politz versus Florence tonight, battle of the Connecticut right-handers. And the right-hander for the Gatemen, Nathan Florence, got a chance to talk with our Mary Orders before today's game.
Thanks, guys. So, Nate, Game 2 of the Western Division Finals tonight. You're getting the start. How are you feeling about it?
I feel really comfortable, getting back in my starting routine. The past couple starts I've had, I felt good, so I'm just ready to go.
You talk about getting back into a routine. You seem more comfortable in your starts than when you were coming out of the bullpen. Can you explain that a little?
Yeah, I haven't come out of the bullpen. Obviously, in the summer I did, but since my freshman year of college, I started halfway through that year, and then all sophomore year I only started. So just to get back and kind of a routine that I'm familiar with helps a lot.
What are you looking to do tonight?
Definitely just get ahead on the batters. Strike one I think is the most important pitch. Get the leadoff guy, just be efficient, try to keep the pitch count down.
What's your favorite pitch you throw and why?
Probably fastball away, just because I feel like I can locate it pretty well, and seems to be pretty effective if you can keep it down in the zone.
How many innings are you expecting to go tonight?
As many as they can get out of me. Obviously within the pitch count, but obviously, I just want to be effective.
Do you guys have any plan for the bullpen after you come out?
Yeah, McGregor's going to follow me up, and we'll get as much out of him as we can, so things are looking good.
How big was it for you guys, and in particular the bullpen, to only have to use 2 pitchers last night?
That's huge, especially because these games are so close. Time frame wise, playing 3-game series with possibly just 1 day off, so to limit the arms that you can within the games you're playing is good to move forward.
How big was it to get the first win of the series?
Huge, because then you have 2 games to work with now, and obviously you don't want to get comfortable, but it does take a little pressure off you.
Lastly, pretty big game tonight, but have you had any similar experiences at Hartford that have prepared you for this moment?
Yeah, my freshman year and sophomore year, I started the first game of our playoffs in our conference, and then this year we advanced to the regional at Stetson, and I pitched against South Florida in that game this year.
Does it help with your nerves to have those games under your belt?
Yeah, it helps a lot. Just kind of experience, just being in these pressure situations, so you can be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Nate, thanks so much for your time and good luck tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thank you to Mary and Nathan Florence. As always, the right-hander will take the mound tonight against a Falmouth lineup that hasn't scored a ton of runs, only 5 in their first 2 games of the playoffs, and then 3 last night, obviously, against the combination of Zach Hart and Joey Barron. So it should be interesting to see what we get from the Falmouth lineup tonight. But speaking of lineups, how about we get you started with starting lineups? First, for the visiting Gateman, Isaac Collins playing second base tonight out of Creighton. He'll lead it off for Wareham. Jacob Goldfarb getting the start this evening. He'll play right field out of Oregon. The third baseman, Austin Shenton, hitting over 600 in the playoffs, will bat third. Jeremy Idens, the RBI king of the Cape, left fielder today out of UCLA. Drew Millis, the DH out of Missouri State, will bat fifth. Luke Roscom, the catcher out of Nebraska, getting the start behind the dish tonight in place of Gian Martellini. He will bat number 6. Lyle Lockhart, the 7th man out of Houston, he'll play first base. Ryan Kreisler, the shortstop out of UCLA, a couple of nice defensive plays from him yesterday, as well as a home run and a double for the UCLA shortstop. He bats 8th. And in the 9 hole, Skylar Hunter, the center fielder out of Purdue, also hitting over 600 in the playoffs. He will bat 9th with the right-hander Nathan Florence out of the University of Hartford on the mound. Once again, 1 through 9 for the Gatemen. Isaac Collins at second, Jacob Goldfarb in right, Austin Shenton at third base, Jeremy Idens in left, Drew Millis at DH, Luke Roscom the catcher, Lyle Lockhart at first, Ryan Kreisler at shortstop, and Skylar Hunter in center field. And now for the home team, the Falmouth Commodores. Will Brennan, the left fielder out of Kansas State, will get it started for Falmouth. He's followed by the everyday catcher and everyday number 2 man, Maverick Handley. He had a 2-run triple yesterday. He is at Stanford. Austin Langworthy, the center fielder out of Florida with 7 home runs on the season, bats third. Cameron Cannon, the leading RBI man for the Falmouth Commodores, bats fourth. He is a third baseman out of Arizona. Matt Wallner, the right fielder out of Southern Miss, another Minnesota native, 3 in the 2 starting lineups today for the Gatemen and for the Commodores. He bats 5th. Logan Davidson, the highly touted shortstop out of Clemson, bats 6th. Davis Sims, in his first playoff appearance of the season, coming back from a little bit of a back injury, a little bit of a back tweak at the end of the regular season. He bats 7th. Herbert Iser, the first baseman, headed to Dallas Baptist by way of San Jacinto Community College, bats number 8. And Hayden Cantrell, the second baseman out of Louisiana Lafayette, rounds out the order in the 9 hole. They will have the right-hander Scott Pullitz out of Yale on the mound for Falmouth. Once again, 1 through 9 for the home Commodores. Will Brennan in left, Maverick Handley the catcher, Austin Langworthy in center, Cameron Cannon at third base, Matt Wallner in right, Logan Davidson at shortstop, Davis Sims the DH tonight, Herbert Iser the first baseman, and Hayden Cantrell the second baseman out of Louisiana Lafayette. Those are the starting lineups for tonight's Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. Just 1 win away from a bit of redemption as the Gatemen lost the Western Division Finals to the Bourne Braves last season. A man that was there in his first season at the helm, now in his second year in charge of the Wareham Gatemen, is Don Snedden. He got to talk with our Mary Orders before today's game.
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, how big was it to get Game 1 of the series?
Well, you always want to get game one. It's not an icebreaker. I mean a deal breaker, because you still got to get a second one on that. But it doesn't mean you get the opportunity to go back to your own field. So that's always nice. And anytime you can get a win, you want to take. You never want a loss.
You guys only used 2 pitchers yesterday, and you were talking a little bit before the game about having to use a lot. How big was it to only have to use 2 pitchers?
Well, it helps. It still helps. I mean, you just don't know, again, how much you're going to have to use tonight or tomorrow or the next day. So, again, when you can get through with just 2, that's pretty rare. I think we only did that twice this year, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a great performance by both those guys.
Nathan Florence is getting the start tonight. What are you expecting out of him?
I'm hoping what he did the last 2 times he went out. He hasn't been a consistent starter for us all summer, but we gave him the ball the last 2 times out, and he's thrown well the last 2 times, so we're hoping to get the same thing out of him tonight.
What's the plan for the pen?
Everybody. That's the plan. If you're down there a pitcher, you're ready to go. That's the way it works from now on. Tomorrow night, next night, and next night, and next night. There's no hidden agendas on there, so everybody's got to be ready.
Overall, what are the keys to tonight's game?
Well, again, it's just scoring early if you can, and then fighting them off. I mean, they're an offensive club, and they can strike very quickly, so you got to get as many runs as you can. And they can hit a 2-run home run real easy, or a 3-run home run. That's been what they've done. They don't just peck away; they pound you away. So we're going to have to, score some runs, not sit on it, and just keep trying to add on it, because there's no run. In my opinion, there's no amount of runs that's safe in this ballpark and with that type of club.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much to Mary and Donna, as always. Gatemen coming up in just a couple of minutes, trying to move on to the CCBL Championship. Just about 5 minutes from first pitch. Game 1 win last night. It was a tight one, but we have the highlights for you here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Wareham is one step closer to their 8th title after sweeping 4th place Katuitt, but they've got one more round to go before seeing the best. The 3rd-seeded Falmouth Commodores swept their matchup and now they come to split for a 3. Has lost a lot of their all-star power, but their pitching is still a force to be reckoned with as they send Adam Lasky, Cape Cod Pitcher of the Year, to the mound. Their offense, while not hit well in the Hyannis series, knows how to strike at the best of times, as we pick up with Maverick Hanley, who scored the go-ahead runs in both games against us in the bottom of the 3rd.
Trying to get out of it, the 3-1 pitch, hammered high and deep into right center field. Long run for Skylar Hunter. Reaches out, doesn't get it. Heck of an effort by Hunter, but that one's going to go to the wall and score 2 for the Commodores. Going around to 3rd is Maverick Hanley. He slides in there with a RBI triple. Falmouth jumps with 2-0 lead here in the 3rd. Lasky has not seen action in the playoffs, nor has he seen action against the Gatemen specifically this year, but an awesome year on the Cape. Kreisler puts an absolute charge into this one, high and deep into left, way gone. Ryan Kreisler with one of the longest home runs of the season for Wareham, and the Gatemen are on the board. Of the game for Wareham sends that one into right field, going to get down for a base hit. Being waved around 3rd is Isaac Collins. He will score. The throw comes wide. Maverick Hanley. Austin Shenton comes through, and we've got a tie ball game here in the 5th.
Between those 2 years.
Payoff pitch hammered into deep left field. Nice running catch from Will Brennan. What a grab. Adam Lasky pointing out to left field. He knows that he just took a double away from Drew Millis. Huge piece of hitting there as Collins puts a charge into one into deep left center field. Going back on it, Brennan and Langworthy. And a sliding attempt, not going to get it, going to go all the way to the wall. Collins into 3rd with a triple, scoring from 1st is Skylar Hunter, and the Gatemen have a 4-2 lead in the 7th. The 1-0. Swinging a weak dribbler to the left side, Ryan Kreisler across the diamond, he got him! The Gatemen work out of a jam, Joe Perrin comes up big, and the Gatemen take Game 1 over the Commodores.
The Gatemen take a 1-0 lead in the series as they win Game 1 4-3. Adam Lasky and Zach Hart equaled each other pitch by pitch as they both went 6 innings with 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 walk, with Lasky striking out 4 and Hart K'ing 5. Maverick Hanley had the big hit for Falmouth, a 2 RBI triple, but Ryan Kreisler was the real star of this one, though, as he went 2 for 3 with a 400-foot solo shot and a double. Up next, the Gatemen travel to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field for the final time as they try and sweep the Commodores.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. Just about 3 or 4 minutes until scheduled first pitch here in Game 2 of the Western Division Finals. The Gatemen trying to sweep their second straight series of the 2018 CCBL playoffs. That'll do it for us here on the Gatemen Pregame Show. Now back for the rest of the call. Here is Cameron Stewart and Henrique Demore. Boys, take it away.
Thank you, JD. Just about ready to get started as the Commodores take the field, looking to defend their home turf here at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. With their season on the line, backs up against the wall, 4-3 losers to your Gatemen last night. And in this best-of-3 series, the Gatemen look to sweep today. And for them, the offense has been a big part of this resurgence the last 2 weeks or so of the season, including in the playoffs. Obviously, the 15 spot to finish off the Cotuit Kettleers in the last sweep in the first round. Today, their starting lineup will have Isaac Collins at second base leading things off, followed by Jacob Goldfarb, the right fielder, and Austin Shenton and Jeremy Idens in their normal spots, third and fourth in the lineup at third base and left field, respectively. Drew Millis, the designated hitter for the second night in a row, and for the second night in a row in the number 5 spot, followed by Luke Roscom, who fills in his defensive position at catcher. Lyle Lockhart, the first baseman, will bat 7th. Ryan Kreisler, the man of the hour last night, is at shortstop and will bat 8th. And Skylar Hunter, the center fielder, will round things out and bat 9th. As Henrique mentioned in the pregame, 3 guys for the Gatemen had multi-hit games, 2 of them in the 8-9 spots, Henrique Demore. A huge lift at the bottom of the order that we talked about in the postgame show last night. And they will be going against the right-hander Scott Politz, the rising senior at Yale University. And in his 3 years with the Bulldogs, 3 times he has been named to the All-Ivy team. On the year, a 2-2 record. This his 7th game, 7th start, with a 4.60 ERA, probably a bit higher than he would like. And in 29 1/3 innings pitched, he has struck out 22, was walked only 7, and allowed 32 hits. His last time out was August 1st in an 8-3 win against Cotuit, in which he got the decision in the victory. Went 5 1/3, gave up 2 runs, scattered 6 hits, walked 2, and struck out just 3. So he will look to ride that wave into the postseason. And that's who the Commodores turn to with their season on the line. Isaac Collins, switch hitter, batting left in his normal collegiate position at second base today. He will stand in to lead things off. Politz is ready, and we're underway in Game 2. It's a fastball that clinches the inside corner for a called strike 1.
I think we talked about it a little bit in the pregame, or like before the game started amongst ourselves, that you're either going to get good Scott Politz or you're going to get bad Scott Politz, right? And like you said, he's trying to ride the wave that he had in that decision against Cotuit.
This one's on the ground to second base. He's going to eat up Cantrell, but he reaches up to grab it. Took a wicked hop off the lip of the infield grass, but full extension reached up and threw it on to first for out number 1.
But to kind of wrap up the point there, now Politz has gone, like you said, in the decision against Cotuit, a really solid 4 or 5 innings of work for him. But before that, in his previous 2 starts, each 4 innings gave up 5 earned runs and 4 earned runs. Before that, 7 scoreless innings. So, there's a reason the kid's been named All-Ivy 3 straight years. That's not All-Ivy freshman team his freshman year. That's All-Ivy League for 3 straight years. Kid's good. Now, does he have this, and sometimes you see the transition to the Cape is easy for some guys as ball 1 comes into Goldfarb. But when he's been on, and the Commodores need him to be on. Like you said, backs against the wall here in Game 2.
This one's going to run inside, so Goldfarb ahead of the count, 2-0. And just the second time this year we have seen him in the 2-hole. While that average still sitting in the 260s, as we have to mention every time, it's that on-base percentage that gets him in the lineup. In the 420s, 426 on the year. He's going to loop this one into shallow left field, and ranging out there is the tall 6'3" shortstop Logan Davidson, who will reach up and make the grab for out number 2.
Couple of nifty plays for Falmouth so far. We've seen him make some nice electric plays, but it seems like they've been making a lot of those 50-50 plays. We saw Logan Davidson make a couple of those, one yesterday and one even the last time these two teams were here, ranged out into a similar spot, shallow left field, just kind of reach as high as he could over his head, using all 6'3", 6'4" of that frame to bring a ball down and take a base hit away from here, Jacob Goldfarb.
First pitch is swung on and fouled straight back by the man who is once again the hottest hitter in the Cape League. Haven't been able to say that in a while, but Austin Shenton has certainly made the playoffs his own. A .636 average with a couple of homers and 5 RBI. Takes this one down low, appeal down to third base. They're going to say he held up the swing. So the count evens at 1-1.
Mark Pantadosi, yesterday's home plate umpire at Wareham, doing the calls at third base. Jeff Kinney at second, Larry Rosenberg at first, Sam Finn behind the dish.
Looping curveball missing down low by the shoe tops of Shenton, who's now ahead of the count, 2 balls and a strike.
And it's funny, JD and I were talking about it yesterday on the broadcast at home. Rarely have we seen when appeals have been made, guys say that guys went around.
Shenton's going to send this one out to deep right field. Matt Wallner on his horse. He's already looking up, and it is gone. Austin Shenton just keeps on rolling. His 3rd home run of the postseason, and the Gatemen jump out first in the first inning, 1-0.
For those of you that weren't there after the Gatemen took Game 2 over the Kettleers 15-6, I got to talk to Austin Shenton after the game, and he said, I asked him, where the heck has his power come from? Because he's been hitting at a torrid clip all year. We talked about that, riding a .400 batting average until kind of the last third of the season started, but the power showed up the last 2 games of the regular season, and now, like you said, Cam, 3rd bomb of the postseason.
This one's on a hop to Logan Davidson, and he will throw on to first to complete the inning, but the damage is done. A line drive solo homer for Austin Shenton has the Gatemen out ahead 1-0. Commodores coming up for the first time here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Before the Commodores can get their cuts, the Gatemen already with a 1-0 lead here on the road. And Commodores will come up for the first time against the right-hander Nathan Florence out of the University of Hartford. He's been a guy who has been here almost the entire season for the Gatemen. He has an 0-1 record with a .574 ERA, which at one point was over 10, so he's really been bringing that down. This is his 8th appearance, his 3rd start of the year, and has struck out 19 and walked 13 in his 15 2/3. Last time out against Bourne, he went 3 shutout innings in the start. And even in his only loss, those 4 innings of 1-run ball against the windy Red Sox at Dunkin' Donuts Park in Hartford, the only hit he gave up was a home run to Nick Quintana and was on the hook for that one in a 5-0 Gatemen loss. Will Brennan will be the first man up, and he will line it out to left field. Coming on strong is Jeremy Idens. Hard hit ball, but it's out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out for Florence.
The catcher from Stanford, number 1.
Hard hit ball, like you said, Cam, and we talked about how the long ball's been really the only blemish on Florence's resume, even in that game against YD. The one shot to Nick Quintana was the one hit that he gave up, but the strikeout numbers have been higher. He's developed into a little more of a power pitcher, but the walks and the hits have still been a little high for Florence.
First offering to Maverick Hanley is going to miss up high. for ball one. And a bit of an awkward moment here for Nathan Florence. He goes through with the delivery, and the ball doesn't come out.
Yikes. So that's ball one.
So, yeah, they are going to say
I mean, technically
no
he
pitch.
threw the ball.
Yeah.
Technically he did throw the ball. That's not a balk.
But it lands underneath his feet. He's ready for the 1-0. This one will miss down low, 2-0.
You got to shake that off, especially in a high leverage situation like this. I mean, you know the Commodores aren't going to go down without a fight, especially not Maverick Handley, who had the only run-producing at-bat of the game yesterday as he cuts and misses on this one. Good bounce-back pitch from Florence. Big 2 RBI triple in yesterday's game. Gatemen scored 4 unanswered before Falmouth tacked on 1 more in the top of the 8th. That was all she wrote. That's been the theme this year between these two teams. Low-scoring games and tight ones.
This one to Hanley is going to catch the strike zone to even things up at 2-2. You mentioned it, Henrique. A clawback for the Gatemen yesterday after falling down 2-0, score 4 of the final 5 runs of the ball game to leave Spillane with that 4-3 victory and set us up where we are today. 2-2. Hanley is going to sky it out to right field. Goldfarb coming on against the sun will run in and make the catch. 2 fly ball outs for Nathan Florence in the first inning. So 2 up, 2 down. Now Austin Langworthy, the Florida Gator who patrols center field for Falmouth, will stand in. Left-hander has done some damage against the Gatemen this year, but Zach Hart had him looking silly last night. A couple of strikeouts against him. First offering from Florence is going to skip inside ball 1. Langworthy was the difference in the game this year between these two teams. A 3-0 Falmouth victory here at Gov Fuller. He drove in all 3 runs on 2 homers. As Enrique mentioned, a lot of low-scoring affairs between these two teams throughout the season with 2 of the best pitching staffs on the Cape. This one to miss up and away, 2-0. Now Langworthy ahead of the count. He's going to bounce this one on the ground to second. Moving to his right is Isaac Collins. Will throw on to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Florence here in the first to answer and shut down their offense. 1-0 is our score as we head to the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails. Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
I would agree with you there.
So after the Gatemen get 1 in the first, Nathan Florence shuts down the Commodores. 1-0 is where we stand as we head to the second inning of work for Scott Politz on the mound. And Henrique, with the first 2 batters, were retired, but a couple of hard-hit balls. It almost seemed like that Austin Shenton homer was coming.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you there, Cam. And Shenton, to wrap up the point that I was trying to make before Jeremy Idens bounced out to end the inning, post-game against Katuitt, I had to talk to Mr. Shenton, and he said on purpose he's been trying to put more of a home run swing on the ball. You hear guys talk more and more in the game about stuff like launch angle and trying to get more of an uppercut swing. Maybe that isn't what Shenton said to me, but he did say, quote, a more of a home run swing. So I think just very much on purpose trying to couple his average, which has been there all season. But I mean, if you're hitting with a little bit of power, and if you're hitting 380, 370, and you shave 40 points off that average for a little bit of pop, you do that any day of the week.
First one missed out of the zone. This one clips the outside corner to the designated hitter, Drew Millis. 1-1 now the count. Millis, of course, was the catcher coming into the playoffs. Suffered a cramp in Game 2 at Cotuit. In the 2 games since then, he has been the designated hitter for Wareham, as this one misses outside. Puts him ahead of the count 2-1.
And while Millis did go 0 for 4 yesterday, his last 2 at-bats, he put a charge into a couple of baseballs, was robbed by Will Brennan on a really nice running catch, and put an absolute charge into one against Austin Langworthy that he chased down in left center.
He's going to get under this one, and it's shot out to left field, where Will Brennan will camp under it. And Millis is out number 1 here in the 2nd inning.
Now batting,
probably not an injury you have to worry about lagging for Drew Millis. Obviously, it seems like just a cramp. It was in the 90s that day in Cotuit, and he was behind the plate with all that equipment. Enough to take him out of the game for this man, Luke Roscom, who fills in at catcher once again today, but not something we should probably fear about for Millis going forward. Roscom is going to rope this one into right center field. It's down for a base hit. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Roscom takes the big turn. It's fumbled out there, so he will get into second base standing up. An absolute frozen rope by Luke Roscom gives himself a 1-out double.
I thought I was going to make a point there about how Luke Roscom, he's been a guy with the clutch gene this year, and sometimes it's taken him 1 or 2 at-bats to kind of get used to things. But that's the kind of ball that when I think Gateman GM Andy Lang signed Luke Roscom to a full contract right from the get-go, that's what he was expecting. A power dead pull bat that just lives in the right center power alley. And we've seen him shoot some balls with some power the other way. We think about the bases clearing double against Harwich that he nudged into the left center gap, almost cleared the wall in left center there at Spillane. And that wall's no joke. We've talked about it a bunch. But Roscom starting things off here really well, and that was a hard hit ball.
Roscom, a bat that's coming alive. Same with this man with the power stroke. Lyle Lockhart takes a big curveball in there on the inside corner for strike 1. Switch hitting first baseman batting left against the right-hander Politz. The man at second and 1 out. A couple of perfectly placed pitches. The first one on the inside corner, this one on the outside corner. A couple of called strikes, and Lockhart is down in the count 0-2. Politz is 0-2. Going to miss down low. Lockhart stays home. Now 1-2. This one going to be cut on and missed. It briefly gets away from Hanley, but he will throw on down to first to complete the strikeout. First strikeout for either pitcher, and it's Lyle Lockhart. And that does not advance Luke Roscom. He's still at second with 2 outs, and Ryan Kreidler coming up.
Ryan Kreidler with one of the best games of his career offensively on the Cape. And what a clutch spot to do it in. Scored 2 of the Gatemen runs, ended up being the difference. And it was the first run of the day that I think really got things going and started to break into Adam Lasky. It was an absolute moonshot of a home run, 399 as far as feet are concerned, out there to dead left field. Good to see Kreidler using his big, lanky frame, not only to make plays at shortstop left and right like we've seen all year, but also to put a charge into some baseballs.
First pitch on the outside corner for a called strike, and we've been talking about recently the type of leadership that Kreidler has. Mike Mobbs has called him the quarterback of the infield. Certainly pulls a lot of weight on this team, and for him to spark that comeback was almost no surprise. I mean, the Gatemen could not get anything going off Adam Lasky. He was pounding the strike zone, really efficient stuff. As this one's on the ground, deep in the hole at shortstop. It's going to be a tough play for his counterpart, Davidson. A long throw across the diamond is going to get him by a hair. A good stretch there by Iser at first, and that's how the second inning will end. The Gatemen leave one stranded in scoring position as we head to the bottom half of the second. It is 1-0 Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings to boats. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesignsinc.com for all your signage needs.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier two-year maritime college.
The bottom of the second here from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. So far, so good for Nathan Florence. He set them down 1-2-3 in the first inning. Scott Politz has ran into his issues with the Gatemen, has given up 2 extra base hits already. Just 1 run on the board, though, on the solo shot by Austin Shenton. Just the 1-0 scoreline we look at right now. And so for the lineup for Falmouth, after that 1-2-3 inning, will be 4, 5, and 6. Cam Cannon, Matt Wallner, and Logan Davidson duo.
Number 26, Cameron Cannon.
Starting with Cannon, who was the hero of Game 2 in the last series for the Commodores, in which they swept the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He got the walk-off hit to seal that 3-2 victory. Coming off the Cape League reliever of the year, Dylan Thomas. First pitch from Florence, going to miss up high to the Arizona Wildcat, 1-0.
The Cape League reliever of the year, and Thomas was not someone that the Gatemen had success against. In fact, Thomas put together one of his best outings of the year against Wareham, but they managed to get to Lasky yesterday.
Cannon's going to rope this one out to right field, but moving back on it is the right fielder Goldfarb. He will track it down on the run, and it's a hard hit, out number 1.
The right fielder from Southern Mississippi, number 44, Matt Wallner.
So now Matt Wallner, the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagle, standing at 6'5", 220, will stand in from the left-hand side against Florence. Takes the first pitch inside, below the knees and inside. 4-1, 1-0. This one going to miss in the same spot. 2-0 to Wallner. We see down in the 5-hole today, we saw him there yesterday, but was a top-of-the-order kind of guy for the Commodores most of the year. 250 average, 343 on base percentage. He's now ahead of the count, 3-0. This one missing up letter high. And that's kind of indicative with the home run to RBI discrepancy. 4 homers for him on the year, but only 11 RBI. 3-0, he's taken all the way, and that's below the knees, ball 4. It's the first walk issued by either pitcher, and it goes to Nathan Florence with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. First base runner of the day for the Commodores.
16, Logan Davidson.
And it comes in front of Logan Davidson, shortstop out of Clemson, who has been terrific defensively for Falmouth all year, but has been a major disappointment at the plate. During the regular season, a 194 average, only a couple of homers and 11 RBI. First pitch to him. This one's going to miss. 5 straight out of the zone from Nathan Florence.
That one didn't miss by a ton, but I think the correct call was made there. Either way, Florence got to start to get back on track here. The free base runners have come back to bite the Gatemen.
1-0. Missing up and away. That's going to bring Luke Roscom out to the mound to try and settle down his starter, who has lost the feel for the strike zone here in the second inning.
And especially in these close games that the Gatemen and Commodores like to play. One free base runner is all it could take. A couple of well-hit balls, and all of a sudden, although the Gatemen have a 1-0 lead here early, which is always a good sign, run's going to come at a premium against Politz, and Florence trying to make sure he does the same.
Good hitter on deck in Davis Sims. Florence just blows this one by Davidson at only 85 miles an hour. Took a little something off it, but Davidson was sitting dead red. He put out a big swing. But now he's only ahead of the count, 2 balls and a strike. This one going to miss down low. 3-1 now to Davidson.
You saw a little bit of cut or a little bit of fall off on that pitch. 88 on the fastball from Florence. A little bit deceptive there, but now got to hit the zone on the 3-1 count.
3-1 offering. That's going to miss outside. Back-to-back walks issued by Nathan Florence, and he's giving life to the Commodores here in the second inning. And that is going to bring Jim Lawler out to the mound. So he's out there to discuss strategy. You can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound.
I don't think any cause for alarm just yet. As Ryan Kreisler, like you said, the quarterback of the infield, also joining the mound meeting there. But the Gatemen don't have too many arms to lose in the bullpen. McGregor Hines is a name that comes to mind. Brendan White has been consistent out of the bullpen, as in he has consistently been out of the bullpen. We've seen him throw as few as 1 inning, as many as 4. In the outing against Brewster, White got the season off to a tough end. They gave up a go-ahead 3-run home run to the Warren Braves' Tyler Fitzgerald. But I've liked the stuff I've seen from White. When he's been on, he's been one of the better Gatemen relievers. But you need at least 3-4 innings out of Florence, giving up 1, maybe 2 runs.
Florence now has to deal with one of the most dangerous hitters in this Falmouth lineup as he misses down low and away for ball 1. And the guy who bats in the 7th hole today, re-injected into the lineup, Davis Sims, out of Murray State. He's been banged up a little recently, hitting at .252 during the regular season. But it's all about those power numbers, 8 homers and 27 RBI. Has 2 men on base this time. Takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Florence is not someone who's going to bring it very hard. It's very rarely gets up to 90, 86, 88 on that fastball. Started at 88 there. One to Sims, perfectly placed, right knee high to the big power hitter, and that puts him ahead of the count, 1-2.
That was a big pitch, and an even bigger one coming here. Luke Roscom, not quite as agile behind the plate as Drew Millis or even Gian Martellini. But as Florence tries to put something maybe low and in, low and away, Roscom's got to be a wall behind the plate.
Both runners go, and Florence loses his footing once again.
What the heck?
So that's going to be a balk. So both runners will get those bases anyway. Now moves men into second and third, takes off the force, and it's the second one we've seen from Nathan Florence today.
I'm at a little bit of a loss, Cam, I confess. I don't know if it's nerves or what, or something about the mound. I mean, you know, pitchers are very particular creatures, obviously, but this is odd.
Florence tries to bear down, brings home his 1-2, blows it right by Davis Sims, swing and a miss, strike 3. It's his first strikeout of the outing. It's brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
Wow, what a gutsy pitch to bring that fastball up and in like that to Davis Sims after eating it on the mound for the second time in as many innings. This is one of the most, if not the most interesting back-to-back pitches I've called here.
Certainly got to give it to Nathan Florence for battling back after that.
Man, oh man.
First pitch to Herbert Iser, just misses outside for ball 1. Iser, one of those new signees at the end of the season for the Commodores, out of Dallas Baptist. Very familiar with the Gatemen's McGregor Hines. He makes up the battery out there for the Patriots, and he's going to send this one out to deep center field. Skylar Hunter moving back just a step or two in front of the wall will make the catch for the third out of the inning, and Florence, after all that, leaves 2 men stranded in scoring position. We go to the third inning here from Gov Fuller Field. It's 1-0 the Gatemen lead here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional. Established in 1877, TM Riders, a family-run insurance. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
We go to the top of the third inning. The Gatemen avoid disaster in the bottom half of the second. Nathan Florence leaves a couple men stranded in scoring position, and now they will send up 9-1-2 in the batting order with a 1-0 lead, starting with Skylar Hunter, man who had a big night last night for the Gatemen out of that 9-hole, including a bloop RBI single that gave them their fourth run, which would end up being the decisive one in the 4-3 victory. Scott Pollitt's still out there for his third of work, and his first pitch here in the third is knee high, and in there for a called strike to Hunter. This one cut on and missed. Hunter down 0-2. Brought that average up to 205 at the end of the regular season. No homers, 10 RBI, and a 271 on base percentage out of the number 9 hole. And playing an excellent defensive center field all season for the Gatemen. This one's going to be on the ground to first. Iser doesn't have to move. Will take it over to the bag himself. 1 up, 1 down.
Hunter yesterday with a big, mildly, we talk about how it's sometimes better to be good, better to be lucky than good. Skylar Hunter yesterday with what ended up being a huge fourth run of the day and a bloop single to give the Gatemen an extra little cushion there. But Hunter definitely has been hitting the ball better, just been more consistent, I think, too. The strikeout numbers haven't gone quite down, maybe like we'd like him or like he'd like him, as that one registers on the outside corner to Collins for strike one. But it has been good to see him put the bat on the ball with harder contact.
Collins stands in. He's 0 for 1 today. Had an eventful bounce out to the shortstop Hayden Cantrell his first time up. Takes a big cut at a pitch in the dirt here, and he's quickly down 0-2. Collins rocking the stirrups today. Saw those broken out for the first time in Game 2 at Katuitt. Superstitious guy, going to roll with it after the 15-6 victory there to clinch the series. 0-2, going to run outside, now 1-2. To today's second baseman. Normally the right fielder for the Gatemen, but middle infield guy at Creighton. Tonight, right field duties go to Jacob Goldfarb, who was on deck. 1-2, it jams him, and it's got to bring Politz off the mound, and he completely botches it. He reaches down with the glove, it doesn't get down far enough, and he ends up booting it towards the third baseline. So he eats it, and Collins will be safe at first. And it is going to be ruled a hit. So the third one of the day for the Gatemen. First one that doesn't go for extra bases, and they've got a man on with 1 out.
Take it any way you can get it at this point. And Collins with his speed can wreak some havoc on the base paths, or at the very least direct attention away from Jacob Goldfarb and onto the base paths.
First pitch to Goldfarb is going to miss down low for ball 1.
Goldfarb, a hard hit ball his last time up, 0 for 1. Logan Davidson, 6'4", out there at short for Falmouth. Took a couple well-positioned steps back and reached up and grabbed that out of what should have been left center field.
Goldfarb liked that first at-bat, takes another one inside and is ahead of the count, 2-0. Definitely knows how to work a count, which was not something the Gatemen did too much last night. I spoke about it earlier, but didn't get to finish on that point on Adam Lasky. We had just about 40 pitches going into that 5th inning, which Ryan Kreisler put together the best at-bat of the day even before the last pitch, and then took it 400 feet to left field for the home run that cut the lead to 2-1. It really got things going for the Gatemen. They would tie it in that inning. 2-0 is going to be cut on and into the catcher's mitt, Maverick Handley. So strike one on Goldfarb. Here's the 2-1, just catching the inside corner on some soft stuff, 76 on the breaking pitch. Hardly a pop into Handley's glove. That evens things at 2-2.
And really well located there. It died at the last second and cut into the left-hander Goldfarb. It was placed really well, like you said, soft stuff low and in. I think Goldfarb thought that was going to die by itself.
2-2 is going to be roped towards third base. Cam Cannon will send it over to second. They will get the out. It was some fancy footwork by Hayden Cantrell as the throw was up and offline. Dropped it on the transfer, so Collins is eliminated at second. A fielder's choice puts Goldfarb on for the first time today. And with 2 outs and he at first base, the man who's already done some damage today, Austin Shenton, coming to the plate.
See if the game can add a little more insurance here. They did it a lot yesterday with 2 outs. Managed to get a little something going. I mean, Kreisler had the homer with 1 out, but the Gatemen yesterday and in the game against Cotuit, impressive 2-out magic worked. Shenton obviously the guy to do it. Iden's on deck, feeling the power stroke as well lately, but Shenton, like we talked about, hitting over 600 in his 3-game playoff stretch so far. He's been darn near unstoppable.
He's ahead 1-0 in the count. His last 2 RBIs have come with 2 outs. Goldfarb is off with the pitch. They got a chance on him at second, and the ball is going to bounce out of Logan Davidson's glove, it looked like. Goldfarb did get around the tag, so he comes in and registers a stolen base at second. And now the RBI opportunity becomes a little more juicy for Shenton, who homered with 2 outs in the first. And to tie things up in the 5th inning in yesterday's game, that came with an RBI single with 2 outs.
Also had his second home run of the postseason against the, until then, near untouchable Stephen Schock for Cotuit to tie that game up, as that one is rifled foul down the first base line. But Goldfarb with a big stolen base there, and I think why I was so impressed with the stolen base that Kreisler had yesterday of third base. One, because stealing third is obviously harder than stealing second, but Handley is quick behind the dish for Falmouth. He is really good defensively, and his pop time definitely sub 2, as in under 2 seconds from the time the ball gets in his glove to when it pops out.
Shenton swing and a miss, a play on behind the runner. The throw was ahead of him. Diving back in safely is Goldfarb. It ate up Davidson, who does not hold on, and he's a little slow to get up, gripping that left hand.
Yeah, I think he might have just fallen on it funny. We saw him, like you said, Cam, the term you used, fancy footwork. I agree, as he had to reach up and snag that 5-4 fielder's choice off the bat of Goldfarb earlier in the day, and then had to contort himself a little bit to get a throw that short-hopped him, preventing him from getting into center field, and kind of twisting and turning on his way down. Might have tangled up with Goldfarb as he was sliding headfirst back into the bag. I think his bare hand might have just come down a little funny on that.
Now a big pitch from Politz. 2-2. It's going to be sent out to left field again. Ranging over there is Brennan, but it will be in foul territory and out of play.
Hard hit foul ball the opposite way from Shenton. You're okay with that. Tried to cheat him on the outside corner there, but Shenton with a good piece of hitting. He hit it where it was pitched.
Now with Goldfarb leading off of second and 2 outs here in the third, Politz will come to the set. Is 2-2 home again. Going to be bounced on the ground, a fair ball, and Iser will take it behind the bag and will touch the pillow for out number 3. Like the Commodores before him, the Gatemen leave one in scoring position, and we head to the bottom of the third. They're still clinging to the slimmest lead possible, 1-0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchant.
Ready here for the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's still the right-hander Nathan Florence out there. He's not yet faced everyone in the Falmouth order as Hayden Cantrell stands in, represents the 9-hole. Fouls the first pitch off to the left, backing out of play. 9-1-2 expected in the order.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the
Maverick Hanley. Florence's 0-1 is on the ground foul past Lyle Lockhart at first base, 0-2. Florence ran into a bit of a hiccup in the last inning, still did not allow a hit, but walked back-to-back men, balked them over to second and third, before getting Herbert Iser to fly out to one of the deepest parts of the park here in dead center field. This one's going to be ripped up the middle. There's the first hit of the ball game for the Commodores. It comes off the bat of Hayden Cantrell. A sharp single leads things off here in the 3rd.
Now batting, the left fielder from Kansas.
We mentioned how Florence not able to complete his motion on a couple of pitches, one in the 2nd and one in the 1st, leading to not only 2 free base runners advancing into scoring position with 1 out, which is a little bit of a scary situation, able to work out of it though, so no harm, no foul. But all the balls, all the contact that has been made has been relatively hard contact. Even from the first one of the day, Will Brennan ripping a line out over to Jeremy Idens in left field.
Will Brennan is going to send this one out to center field this time. Skylar Hunter makes easy work of it. It's a quick out for Nathan Florence after the leadoff single.
And just as I say that, that was a really good pitch by Florence there. Took a little something off it. It looked like a changeup low. And Brennan was thinking fastball the whole way, so he kind of reached out and got that, tried to slow down his swing. But he went and got that right in front of the front part of home plate, lifted it lazily into center field. Easy pickings for Skylar Hunter.
So now Maverick Hanley, the catcher, is up and off with the pitch. Hayden Cantrell got a great jump, but it's going to be fouled off to the right and out of play.
And his daughter, Tevis.
So Cantrell will have to go back to first base. Cantrell 7 of 8 on theft attempts this year. He's going again, got a good jump again. Roscom's throw down's on a hop, but they get him at second. It was on a hop, but it was perfectly placed for Kreisler to keep the tag down, and that eliminates the leadoff single. Cantrell thrown out at second.
Man, oh man, what a big play. Luke Roscom, the throw was on a hop, but he absolutely muscled it down there. And like you said, Cantrell, not as good of a jump as the one he got on the first time on the foul ball, but that was a pretty darn good jump. Kreisler positioned very well there. Luke Roscom again putting his body on the line here, granted with nobody on the base paths, but still eliminating a good base runner like Cantrell, who, like you said, Cam, only been caught all year once. Bodes pretty well for Florence, looking for a bit of a bounce back inning here.
He can get out of it with one pitch all of a sudden. The 1-2 is going to be on the ground towards Kreisler. Worm Eater will throw on to first base, and Florence bounces back after the leadoff single. Will only face the minimum, a rare runner thrown out by Luke Roscom behind the plate. And that's how the Commodores go down in the 3rd. We head to the top of the 4th. Still 1-0 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing.
At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more. Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org.
Played 3 full here from Gov Fuller, and it will be 4-5-6 due up in the Gatemen order, starting with Jeremy Idens, and he will be followed by Drew Millis and Luke Roscom. Idens stands in against Scott Pullitz. He's 0 for 1 today. He followed up the Austin Shenton solo homer with a bounce out to the shortstop Logan Davidson to end things in the first. Gets his second crack at it here in the fourth. First pitch swinging on a breaking ball. Cut on and missed for strike one. Gatemen in the road blue uniforms. Falmouth with their roads as well. The black uniforms with the maroon lettering and white trim. This one going to miss on the outside corner, so 1-1 now to the left fielder Idens, who bounces this one on the ground to third, backhanded by Cam Cannon. Throw across the diamond is low, but Iser will pick it out. And Idens is retired for the second time tonight, 5-3.
State, number 13, Drew Millis.
We talked about it a little bit between innings, Cam, but how big the bounce back inning was for Nathan Florence last frame. After surrendering the leadoff single, another hard hit ball off a pitch off a Nathan Florence fastball. But Florence, I mean, after throwing 25 pitches, 11 strikes and 14 balls through 2 innings, bounced back with an immaculate inning also, as that one is hammered over the head of Hayden Cantrell for a base knock. Still your call there, Cam. My apologies. I wanted to keep it a little...
Hey, you had it perfect.
Keep it seamless.
Get yourself warmed up for the second half of this game. I can respect that.
Always try to be ready. But Florence, he threw 8 pitches in the third inning, despite giving up a leadoff single. He threw 8 pitches to 4 guys. I mean, it really did help out. Obviously, that Brennan was caught stealing, so he could pitch with a little less weight on his shoulders, and have to worry less about the guys behind him and more about the guy in front of him. But only threw 1 ball, 14 balls in the first 2, and just 1 in the third inning. Because we talked about how the high strikeout numbers have come for Florence. The pickoff attempt goes over, but the walks and hits 13 apiece coming into the game today.
So as Henrique told you, Drew Millis getting on with a single, lining it past maybe the most athletic guy we've seen on the field, Hayden Cantrell.
Yeah, kid's a stud.
Certainly get up there, and he did on that ball that he probably had no business of getting, as 1-0 is now the count to Luke Roscom, who was already doubled in his only at-bat today. One of the hardest hit balls of the night for either team. 1-0. He takes a breaking ball in the outside corner for a called strike.
So Luke Roscom purses his lips, waggles his head a little bit, saying, okay, fine.
I don't think he saw that one coming.
No, it was a well-located pitch.
And he's going to be out in front of this one and shank it off to the left, out of play. And we did see the athleticism by Cantrell. First batter of the ball game, Isaac Collins, hit what looked like a routine ground ball to him at second base, but a wicked hop off the dirt, and he had to leap up to keep it in front of him and still make that throw on in plenty of time. So the athleticism definitely there. And he also had the fancy footwork on the fielder's choice to knock the man out at second last inning. That was off the bat of Jacob Goldfarb. With 1 out and a man at first in Drew Millis. 1-2 is the count to Luke Roscom. This one on the outside corner, another one of those breaking balls that paints the outer half. It's a called strike 3. It freezes Roscom, and now there are 2 gone in the inning.
Another one of those breaking balls on the outside part of the plate, like you said, Cam.
Now batting, the first baseman from
Polis has had success with those.
Lyle Lockhart.
That was what he pitched for strike 1. Got him again there for strike 3. Drew Millis, meanwhile, on the base pass, doing a little dancing. A fake steal there on that last one. Not able to induce anything out of it, but with a pretty conservative lead over there at first right now.
The inning falls on the shoulders of Lyle Lockhart. Stands in and takes a nearly identical pitch to the one that froze Luke Roscom. Breaking ball, outside corner, called strike 1. Lockhart's 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the second inning off of Politz. This one down low and in, even things at 1-1. One of the hottest Gatemen hitters going right now, Ryan Kreisler, waits on deck. This one runs too far inside, about bell tie. Catches the corner, 1-2.
Looked like that one might have zipped out of the zone there, but caught enough of the plate, the home plate umpire.
Bit of a late call on it, but it is 1-2 nonetheless. Throw on, Millis, dives back in there safely. Millis under the direction of Miller, Matt Miller, the Gatemen first base coach. Millis going this time. It's going to eat up Hanley on a pitch in the dirt, and Millis read it perfectly. He gets down to second base. Picked a heck of a ball to run on. He's in there with a stolen base.
Yeah, it's heads-up base running. You see guys a little more heads-up on 0-2, 1-2 counts because you're expecting some breaking stuff. And Hanley, he's going to be ready for those. He's a heck of a catcher behind the plate there for Falmouth, like we've talked about, out of Stanford. But Millis was dancing out there pretty much every other pitch, a fake steal. But shows a good breaking ball count to run on there.
Second time in as many innings the Gatemen do that to get a man in scoring position with 2 outs, and both times it will end right after that. Lockhart bounces out to first base. Iser takes it himself, and they leave another man stranded in scoring position. And we head to the bottom of the 4th here at Gov Fuller Field on the Gatemen Baseball Network, 1-0 Wareham.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Back here for the bottom of the 4th inning, Nathan Florence will have to deal with the meat of the Falmouth order. Austin Langworthy, Cam Cannon, and Matt Wallner expected in the inning. That's 3-4-5 for the Commodores.
Leading off for Falmouth.
Bounce back inning for him last time, as Enrique mentioned. 8 pitches, 7 strikes, works around a leadoff single. Luke Roscom threw out Hayden Cantrell, trying to get to second base. First pitch to Austin Langworthy, missing down low by the shoe tops, ball 1. Big cut at this one, but unable to connect. Home run swing there from Langworthy. But it's a swing and a miss. He asks if the pitch is in the zone. It certainly was. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. 1-1, low and in, 2-1. Florence now at 38 pitches on the night as he battles here in the fourth. Another big hack and a miss from Langworthy. It's 2-2.
All fastballs so far. He's gotten a cut and a miss on the high stuff from Langworthy. This is a guy who's homered off Florence already this year. Back here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field a few weeks ago.
Part of the 2 home run performance. He's going to bounce this one into left field for a base hit. So Florence makes him look silly on a couple of pitches, but a 2-strike single from Austin Langworthy gets things started here in the bottom half of the fourth.
Arizona, number 26, Cam Cannon.
Left another fastball up there, and it was better placed on the outside part of the plate, but a good hitter like Langworthy saw that one up about chest level and hit it where it was pitched.
So now Cam Cannon, one of the top RBI men in the Cape League this year, has a man on base, but he's first pitch swinging, slams the bat down in disgust as Ryan Kreisler will camp out under it from his shortstop position and reel it in for a bounce back out number 1 for Nathan Florence.
Number 44, Matt Wallner.
Back-to-back leadoff singles surrendered by Florence in the third and the fourth, and able to get a little bit of help from his defense on a couple of lazily hit balls. Now Matt Wallner, the guy on deck, Logan Davidson as well, have both reached via the walk today.
Now Matt Wallner takes the first pitch down low. 4-1. He's not registered an official at-bat today. He walked in the second inning. First of back-to-back walks. The only 2 that Florence has given up tonight. He's going to sky this one foul back behind us and out of play. Florence's 1-1 is going to be skied out foul to the same spot, 1-2.
Wallner didn't miss by much on either of those. Pretty good swing there from the Southern Miss Golden Eagle on both those pitches. But now we've seen a similar spot here. Florence, all fastballs to get a guy to a 2-strike count. See if he maybe goes with a breaking ball here.
He does take something off of it and gets the swing and the miss from Matt Wallner. Second strikeout of the game for Florence. It's brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
Good sequence there, and like you said, Cam didn't look like a strict breaking ball, maybe looked like a changeup, which I think was a pretty good pitch to go with there. So we've got a little bit of a stoppage of play as a rogue, I guess probably a rogue baseball, found its way into the left field corner. Yes, it was. But Florence with all the fastballs to Langworthy and Cam Cannon, obviously, I mean, I think as far as the point I'm making, a statistically irrelevant at bat. But even Matt Wallner cut and missed on a couple of fastballs.
Runner goes, gets a great jump. Langworthy is down in there, and he's out.
Wow.
A swipe tag by Ryan Kreisler, an awfully close play. Looked from the naked eye, he might have been in there. Langworthy certainly thought so. But it's the second runner thrown out in as many innings by Luke Roscom, and that's how we end things here in the fourth. We go to the fifth, still 1-0 Gatemen on the Gatemen.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent, or for live music every weekend, located on Route 105 in Marion.
Ryan Kreisler going to lead things off for the Gatemen in the top half of the fifth.
Ryan Kreisler.
Shortstop out of UCLA is 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to his counterpart, Logan Davidson at short. A very nifty play to end things in the second inning. Gatemen clinging to a 1-run lead as the first pitch misses up letter high. And that's well out of the zone if it's to Ryan Kreisler, who stands at 6'4". He's going to put a big swing and a miss there. Not expecting the breaking ball at 73 miles an hour from Politz.
Thing dove at the last second, too. A lot of north-south movement, but it cut across the plate away from the right-hander Kreisler. Started about chest level, dropped to the knees.
This time he will foul one off on another breaking ball that was left up high. So he's down in the count 1-2. Kreisler in the postseason, hitting at just 272, but with the homer in the game last night and a couple of RBI for him. One came in that big ninth inning against Katuitt. This one going to bounce down low and away. He had things at 2-2. I know it's something we've talked about with Kreisler a few times this year, but does not take it as just a metaphor to choke up with 2 strikes. He literally chokes up on that bat. We can see him doing it right now. Tries to put the ball in play, going to foul this one off the catcher Hanley. Cannot hang on for the strikeout. It remains at 2-2. Kreisler going to be on the ground. A nifty stop there by Cannon. Long throw, and it's going to eat up Iser. He can't dig it out. Would have been a terrific play on both ends, but instead looks like it's going to be an infield single. It will be for Ryan Kreisler, and the leadoff man's on for the Gatemen.
Take it any way you can get it. Ryan Kreisler showing his speed a little bit in yesterday's game, so we'll see if he can put some pressure on the Falmouth pitching staff. I mean, that we saw them do so today as Iser going to walk his glove over to the dugout.
It's convenient. Misses the pick. It would have been a great pick by him over there at first base. Can't really fault him too much for not making it, but apparently it did the glove in. He gets a new mitt. So Hunter, the switch hitter, batting left. He's already 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to the first baseman, Iser, his first time up in the old mitt. He's going to try and lay down a bunt here. And it's going to go a hair foul down that third baseline, not very far off the plate. Put things at 0-1 on him. Hunter, one of the only guys, and albeit a short sample size, who can rival Austin Shenton's average in this postseason. He's at 5 for 8, so put him at 625 with 3 RBI. And they had Kreisler leaning on the throw over to first, but he's able to dive back in there. 6'4" frame certainly helps that time. He's back in there safely. Oh, 1 pitch to Hunter's on the outside corner. Bunt is off that time. It's in there for a called strike, and a call that doesn't necessarily agree with. He's down in the hole 0-2.
We have seen behind the plate Sam Finn be pretty consistent with that breaking ball outside. If it catches enough of the corner, been giving it to Scott Politz all day.
0-2, going to miss down low. Hunter not chasing after it. Now 1-2 the count. You mentioned it, that has been the call on the outside corner a lot with the breaking ball. That time it was the fastball to get the called strike 2 on Hunter. But that door has certainly been open for the starters as the pickoff throw goes over to first once again, and it's actually dug out by Iser to keep Kreisler over there at first, who takes a short lead. Nobody out in the inning. And the 1-2 pitch to Skylar Hunter. Going to be on the ground to first base again. Iser fumbling it, and he might not get any play. It's a close play at first. He's going to be safe.
I love that. I love that. Skylar Hunter, weak ground ball to the first base side, does not give up the whole way. One of the fastest dudes on the team, legs out a single there. Puts 2 on with nobody out here for the top of the order for Wareham. Big opportunity to try to add to a 1-0 lead.
And it was definitely a play where he was thinking double play all the way. You saw him go in on the grass, and he was looking towards second as he started to fumble that. And, you know, you're thinking double play. It takes a while for Politz to get over there. And so no one covering is safe. And this one, another bunt attempt is going to be taken in there for a strike. Throw down behind the runner at second is going to get into center field, and that's going to advance both runners. A big defensive mistake by Maverick Hanley as that throw gets away. Kreisler moves up to third. Hunter up to second.
Big one and a rare one. And now getting a little update here of that single, quote-unquote, by Skylar Hunter retroactively, or excuse me, no, my apologies. That is not the case. They officially ruled that an E2, not an E6. Mine was on a wrong play. I was still a little befuddled on what happened scoring-wise off the bat of Skylar Hunter. But either way, second and third here, nobody out. Big chance for the Gatemen.
Couple of men in scoring position for Collins, who's going to shoot it out to the right center field gap. This one's going to get down, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Kreisler will score standing up. Here comes Hunter. He's going to score standing up. Into third is Isaac Collins with a 2-run triple, and it's 3-0 Wareham.
Isaac Collins back-to-back triples in as many days. You love to see it, using his speed to put himself at third, still with nobody out for a more dangerous part of the Gatemen order. Collins, his hits have been more 1-for-3, 1-for-4 variety in the playoffs, but boy have they been big. 3-0 Wareham here in the fifth.
And he certainly loves him some Gov Fuller Field. That's his second RBI triple he's had here this season. And in fact, all of his hits here in Falmouth have been triples. Can you believe that?
Wow.
He's got the speed for it, and that bat's come around this season as well.
Man, oh man. I love it. I love it.
First pitch missing outside to Jacob Goldfarb as the Gatemen look to put up a big crooked number. Already 2 in this inning. Let's make it 3. Goldfarb dunks it into right field. Walking home is Isaac Collins. RBI single for the newest installment in the Gatemen lineup, Jacob Goldfarb, and it's 4-0.
Now batting, the third
capitalizing where the Gatemen on that defensive mistake by Maverick Hanley. Now it didn't end up mattering as it was a bases clearing hit. A triple from Isaac Collins, shooting it to both gaps, showing power from both sides of the plate. You love to see that from Collins. And Jacob Goldfarb just gets a pitch on the inside corner and doesn't miss. Now Wareham trying to get into this Falmouth bullpen early. 4 runs on 8 hits all of a sudden. 4 hits in this inning alone.
And the first action is going to start to get up for the Commodores. And it's a familiar foe for the Gatemen. Mitchell Miller, the left-hander, is the one who's starting to get his equipment. First pitch is in there for a called strike to Austin Shenton. As it's that second and third time around the order that has been trouble for Politz. Here in the 5th inning, already 3 runs home, still nobody out. Next one to Shenton, low and in. 1-1. He, of course, has driven in a run already today on the solo homer in the 1st inning. That was the only runs for the Gatemen coming into this frame before the 3 spot they've put up and are trying to work on. This one up and away. Hanley has to come out of the crouch. 2-1. Politz starting to bring that velocity up a tick or two. Actually, that one at 89, which is the hardest we've seen tonight from him. Big swing and a miss by Shenton from 89 on the pitch before to 76 on the changeup. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goldfarb leading off of first. He's the only man on the bases. And the 2-2 is going to run outside. Shenton stays put. Full count now to the Gatemen third baseman.
Shenton has already had a multi-homer game this year. That was really the start of the power stroke for him in that 10-6 win against Hyannis. See what he can do here.
Full count offering, runner goes. It's not going to matter. It's down low and in. And it's ball 4 to Austin Shenton. That's the first one issued by Scott Politz today. It comes with still nobody out in the 5th inning, and there's runners at first and second for Jeremy Idens.
And it was in the 5th inning yesterday that the Gatemen were able to tag Adam Lasky for only 2 runs that time. And it was after they had recorded an out. Jeremy Idens with a solo home run, Austin Shenton with an RBI single. It was a little more methodical. The Gatemen were also helped out by a walk to Isaac Collins and Oliver Dunn getting hit by a pitch when he went yesterday. But here, a little more explosive, and here the only free pass, like he said, given up by Commodores pitching. Politz with 2 strikeouts and the 1 walk so far has given up now 8 hits, like we said. But trying to put up a little bit more of a crooked number here. You like a 4-run lead going into the 9th here, but it's going to be interesting to see who the Gatemen throw out of the bullpen. They are far from out of the woods. But if you can tag Politz and even Mitchell Miller, who the Gatemen have had on and off success against for a couple more here this inning and next inning, you'll put yourself in a very good spot. Give the Gatemen bullpen that low leverage situation that they love to work with. And if everything goes right, could walk out of Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field 2 wins away from a title.
Pitching coach came out to talk to Politz and allow the left-hander Miller to get more loose down there in the bullpen on the first baseline. First pitch to Idens, missing down low and away. Ball 1 to him. Interesting to see Henrique with the bullpens that are still practically in play here at Gov Fuller as this one misses down low and in. No one giving any protection to that bullpen catcher.
That is surprising.
See a guy with a glove.
Yeah, usually when I rode the bench my first 3 years in high school, that was my job, was to protect the bullpen catcher.
Not all heroes wear capes.
No. Some
sure.
of them wear number 4 and
Bobby Orr.
Large fitting jerseys. Yes. I didn't really grow into myself until late in high school, so everything was big on me.
We won't judge you.
That's okay. Well, thank you.
3-0 now to Idens. I don't think I'm in any position, also, to be quite honest with you. 3-0, going to miss down low. That's a 4-pitch walk to Jeremy Idens. And if you're Mitchell Miller down in that bullpen, you better start throwing hard because it's getting out of hand for Scott Politz. Still nobody out, and the bases are loaded now for Drew Millis.
This feels like that big inning in Kituit. Nobody out, and the Gatemen have now sent 7 men to the plate. 7th man is Drew Millis. And now we see Mitchell Miller walking off the bump and over to the mound. I think it's going to be at the end of the day for Scott Politz. Was mechanical and just really, really good through 4 innings. Surrendered a hit in each of those innings. 2 strikeouts, no walks until the 5th. And after back-to-back ones here, his day's done.
So he exits. The left-hander Miller comes in. We'll give you his numbers when we come back here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Head on over to BB's Bar & Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar & Grill for their support.
Back here at Gov Fuller Field, it's the left-hander out of Clemson, Mitchell Miller, standing tall at 6'5" and 195 pounds. He comes into the year with a 1-1 record, a 3.80 ERA. This is his 12th game, his 13th game. All of them out of the bullpen with 24 2/3 innings, 30 strikeouts to 30 walks in that time. and has faced Wareham a couple times. The first time was that 7-4 victory for the Gatemen here at Gov Fuller, in which he gave up 3 runs in 2 1/3 innings. Everything since that has been pretty successful for him in the last 3 outings against the Gatemen. 5 2/3, and has not allowed a run during that span. The left-hander who his most recent season at Clemson in the ACC, making the rare transfer from Clemson to West Texas A&M, as Drew Millis cannot hold up on the first pitch, breaking ball at 72 down in the dirt. Not exactly a pipeline.
No, not exactly. Like you said, usually you would see moves like that go the opposite way.
Yeah, I think that and the Edouard Julien Quebec to Auburn, I think, are the weirdest pipelines we've seen this year. Both here for the Falmouth Commodores. 1-1 now as the pitch bounces down low. No Julien in the lineup today, who was one of the hottest hitters coming into the postseason. Had a hit last night for the Commodores, but he's on the shelf. Was the designated hitter. That goes to Davis Sims today. Infield in for the Commodores, with still nobody out and the bases loaded. And now a 2-1 count to Drew Millis as this one misses well up high.
I don't even think we talked enough about the fact that Sims is back in the lineup. Kyle Stauer still nowhere to be seen. Don't know exactly what he's dealing with. We've got no real word on it. I imagine some sort of injury, but Sims back in the lineup. Stauer's presence being missed, though, for Falmouth.
Millis just missing this fastball at 90, fouled straight back. And they're not afraid to stretch out Mitchell Miller, you would think. Because of that move to West Texas A&M out of Division I, he does have to sit a year, so he will not be pitching this spring. This one's going to be popped up foul. Herbert Iser, the first baseman, making the run over. And I'm sorry, it's not because he's going out of Division I, he will not have to sit out a year. So maybe they should be meticulous with Mitchell Miller.
I mean, either way, it's a
long way to go.
It is a long way to go, even if your next pitching appearance is going to be in February, March. But it's not the point. You want to keep the kid's arm healthy. He's got a long career ahead of him. Put up pretty good numbers at Clemson. Going to try to do a little more damage at a lower division.
Try and get some more playing time out there in Texas. Is going to be rifled into left field. A base hit. Logan Davidson might have gotten a glove on it, but it will get out into left with the infield pulled in. Jacob Goldfarb will score. Everyone moves up a base, and it's 5-0 on the RBI single by Drew Millis.
There we go, Drew Millis with his second second base hit, first RBI of the day. We mentioned it, Millis batting in the 5-6 hole. Him and Gian Martellini have been shuffling that around in the last week or so. But he's been hitting the ball hard. Hit the ball hard yesterday despite an 0-for-4 day. And now the trouble continues to mount here for Falmouth.
First pitch missing low and away to Luke Roscom. Of course, that run still charged to Scott Politz, and the men at second and third will also be his responsibility. 1-0, cut on and missed by Roscom for strike one. Still nobody out in this frame, and 4 runs in for the Gatemen. They keep this going, it'll look pretty similar to that 9th inning against Catuit in their game 2 back on Monday. Roscom going to bounce this one foul on the first base side. He's down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Whatever it takes. This is a Falmouth team that we talked about it a little bit, how Falmouth starting out the season was one of the worst, if not the worst team in the Cape through their first 12, 15 games. But part of the reason they were able to start a turnaround is they put up 17 on Catuit in a 17-7 win early on in the year. So I don't care how big this lead gets, because that one misses just low to Roscom. Really good take by the Nebraska Cornhusker. No lead is safe here, not in the Cape League.
Especially with a team on their home diamond, with their backs up against the wall, like Falmouth is tonight. 2-2 to Roscom, going to be bounced foul once again.
Just got on top of that 90-mile-an-hour fastball. A little bit out ahead of it. Could have been trouble, rifled down the right field line. Luke Roscom has done a ton of damage with the bases loaded this year. See what he can do on a 2-2 pitch here with nobody out.
Miller's 2-2 once again. Cut on and missed takes a lot off it, 15 miles an hour off it at 75, and Luke Roscom is out number 1 in the inning.
That is a very nasty pitch. It looked like it was going to be a similar pitch, but like you said, it died there at the end. It started out looking like it was going to be a similar pitch, a firmish fastball up and into the left-hander Roscom, but died there at the last second. Roscom's eyes got big, not saying I could blame him, but swung right over the top of it. 1 away here in the 5th.
So the Gatemen have batted around. The 9th man sent up to the plate this inning is Lyle Lockhart. Switch hitter will get his first cuts from the right side tonight. Takes one on the outside corner for called strike 1. Oh, 1 going to run too far outside, even things up on Lockhart. It was 0 for 2 today, a strikeout, and a ground out to first base. Both of those off Scott Politz. More action getting started for Falmouth. This one runs inside. It does not hit Lockhart, but it does get to the backstop. And coming in to score, standing up, is Austin Shenton. Hanley made a bit of a play on it at the end, but Shenton will score nonetheless, and it's the 6th Gateman run.
There's a school of thought that says maybe, I thought initially it hit Lockhart, and I think that might have been what Handley was thinking, but if you're Handley, that was the most nonchalant run back to the backstop I've ever seen. If you don't hear the umpire yell dead ball, get on your horse. You're down by 5. Now down by 6. This game very quickly getting away from your team.
So for the Gatemen now, 6 runs on 9 hits, no errors. No runs, 2 hits for the Commodores, and an error on their side as the count runs to 3-1 on Lyle Lockhart. Runners at second and third as both men moved up as well on the wild pitch. It's not going to matter. The bases are going to be loaded again as this one misses outside. And Lyle Lockhart will trot down to first base. Third walk of the inning issued by Falmouth pitchers. Third walk of the game. And the man who got this big inning started with a single is Ryan Kreidler, who will stand in now.
Love to see the production from the bottom of the lineup today for Wareham. 2 for 4 between Ryan Kreidler and Skylar Hunter. Both of them been hitting well in the playoffs. Consistent singles and doubles power, and Ryan Kreidler obviously with the home run as he takes strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. But we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the playoffs, how for the Gatemen to be successful, they're going to need to throw up some crooked numbers. They're going to need top-down production from their lineup today, and for the most part, they've gotten it. The only guys hitless in this Wareham lineup today, even just through 3 trips around the order, Idens and Lockhart, and even they've both reached base.
This one's cut on a miss and a pitch down low by Kreidler. He's down in the count 0-2. With 1 out, the base is loaded. Corner infielders are in for the Commodores, but the double play combo up the middle is back in hopes of getting a twin killing. Kreidler, patient on 0-2, takes one down low and away. This one is going to be foul tipped and caught by Handley. Nice catch to go down and get it. That completes the strikeout. Second of the inning for Mitchell Miller. And the bases remain loaded for Skylar Hunter.
Hunter, like I mentioned, 1 for 2 today with a run scored.
Skylar Hunter.
Singled earlier this inning. We'll start it off back-to-back singles for the 8-9 part of this order to start it off against Scott Politz, as that one is taken ball 1. An appeal made down to first. No go. No surprise there. Rarely have we seen someone say you went around.
Water's wet too.
Yeah, true facts. Yeah. But big inning, or the inning started off in a really explosive way here for Wareham. This one as he tips that one weakly into foul ground. 1-1 on Hunter. But it's a single by Kreidler, single by Hunter, triple by Isaac Collins, Jacob Goldfarb with a single, pair of walks, another single by Drew Millis, and then yet another walk issued. This one by Mitchell Miller to put Lockhart aboard at first. So a lot of guys reaching base, even just in one inning, looking a lot like that could two at 9th.
Hunter's going to shoot this one off foul to the right, not a play, 1-2. See after this long inning if Nathan Florence gets the bottom of the 5th. Some managers do like to take their guys out after a long wait like this, but in a crucial game, you never know. As this one misses outside, Hanley goes out and gets it. And now 2-2 with 2 outs and the bases full of Gatemen. Two-two to Hunter. Cut on and miss. 91 on the fastball from Mitchell Miller. And he gets out of the jam, leaves the bases loaded, but 5 put across in the inning for the Gatemen. They have blown it open. It is now 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th, where you'll hear Henrique de Moore on play-by-play for the rest of this game here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Please visit CapeCodHealth.org. Cape Cod Health.
Established in 1877, TM Riders, a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Riders' goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. My name's Henrique de Moore. Like Cam Stewart said, I'll be taking over play-by-play for the second half of this one. Bottom of the 5th, it's 6-0 Wareham. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the visiting Gatemen. Just, I guess, now 15 outs away from their first title series appearance since 2012 when they were victors over YD. That was the second to last West Division title period. Katua won in 2013, 3 straight rattled off by the Red Sox before Brewster took it in 2017. Gatemen trying to get back there, but not out of the woods quite yet, but they do have a 1-0 series lead after a win in yesterday's ball game. Pitching change here right now. Nathan Florence, you talked about it, Cam. Maybe he goes out for the 5th. Maybe he doesn't. He does not. And now McGregor Hines out of Dallas Baptist, another guy who took the San Jacinto to Dallas Baptist route. So McGregor Hines will come on in relief after an outing by Nathan Florence. That was exactly what the doctor ordered. 4 innings of work, 2 hits, had 2 strikeouts as well, and 2 walks. It's exactly what you expected out of Florence, but very serviceable. I think the 2 base knocks the most encouraging part, especially from a Falmouth lineup that, like you said, Cam, nothing left to lose. They got their backs against the wall here at their home diamond as ball 1 is delivered to Logan Davidson. It'll be followed by Davis Sims and Herbert Iser. Iser, the other guy on this field that has taken the San Jacinto to DBU route as far as their collegiate baseball playing careers. Strike 1 registered on the outside corner, 1-1. This pitching change, of course, brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. Hines from the windup, the 1-1. Hard line drive, going to fall into right field for a base hit. Logan Davidson not wasting a ton of time. He's aboard with nobody out in the 5th for Falmouth. Here comes Davis Sims, 0-for-1 with a strikeout today.
And Hines started out well enough for the Gatemen. In his first 2 appearances went 5 shutout innings, but since then it's been a bit of a nightmare. In the 2 appearances since then, 2 1/3, 5 earned runs on 6 hits. And one of those great performances was against these Falmouth Commodores back on July 27th when he went a couple of shutout innings and only allowed 1 hit.
First appearance not at Spillane Field for McGregor Hines. See if the change of environment helps him out at all. In front of a pretty packed house here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field, looking like about 1,300. Showing up to support their Commodores. They're trailing 6-0 as the 1-0 is hammered foul down the left field line.
Did you ballpark that yourself?
Roughly. That's usually what, when I go back on the box score and I see, okay, Cape Cod League Field, relatively packed house, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500.
It's impressive.
Thank you. We'll see if I was right in a couple hours.
If only we had turnstiles.
If only. Hines working from the stretch, the 1-1. Ooh, tipped right into the mask of Luke Roscom, and a Charlie Horse, the home plate umpire, Sam Finn.
That hurts. We've seen on a similar play an umpire get knocked out for a game, and one we did at YD. This one coming off the bat doesn't take anything off it, really, and you never know going around that elbow. Looks like it caught him right above the elbow.
Yeah.
But it could hit a nerve in there. He seems to be okay. Those umpires, some of the toughest guys out there on the field.
Yeah. It takes some physical abuse, and they take a lot of verbal abuse, obviously.
That goes without saying. Especially when you're playing Katuitt.
So back in there is Finn grimacing, taking big, deep breaths. As I initially said, he was Charlie Horse. That was fake news. He got him on the right arm, as that was what he was kind of stretching out and waving around. Shares a smile and a laugh with Luke Roscom. Roscom, one of the biggest jokesters on the team. Rarely find him without a smile on his face. Shares a word with Finn, and now we are ready to play baseball again. 1-2 the count on Sims. Logan Davidson at first after the leadoff single. Hines ready, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Breaking ball low and away, disappeared from the bat path of Davis Sims. 1 out.
That's a great switch up there by McGregor Hines. Obviously a heavy fastball guy. And after that long delay, he goes with a nasty breaking ball down low and away, unhittable for Sims. It's another one brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Ixafaris, and Bullard.
So now up is the lefty, Herbert Iser, who is 0 for 1, but hit a fly out to the deepest part of left center field. Skylar Hunt tried to make a long, and I mean long, run on it. Part of the clump of hard hit balls that were hit against Nathan Florence in the beginning of his start. Florence settled in really nicely in his third and fourth inning of work. The 1-0 from the righty Hines. This is outside. 2-0. Wareham, like we mentioned, have not won it since 2012, it being the CCBL championship, looking for title number 8. Just 3 wins away. 2-0, dribbled foul right behind Herbert Iser. So the count runs to 2-1. And Falmouth, of course, with the longest championship drought in the CCBL right now since 1980. They have not won it. They took 2 trips in 4 years, or 2 trips in 3 years, I should say, to the championship series in 2014 and 2016, but were eliminated both times.
Both times by the YD Red Sox.
Yep. En route to their first and third of those 3 straight titles they won in 14, 15, 16.
Think about that. The Miracle on Ice was fresh the last time these guys won it all.
Jeez. Yeah, almost, funny, we think sometimes of 1980. Oh, that was 20 years ago. Almost 40 years ago at this point. That one lifted on a missile out to right field. Going to get down for a base hit. Bouncing up against the right field wall. Herbert Iser rounding first. He will get to second. Being held up at third is Logan Davidson as the throw comes in. 1 away, 2 men in scoring position for the Commodores.
That thing was a rocket out to right center field, but it was played perfectly all the way around by the Gatemen. Jacob Goldfarb, not your sharpest defensive outfielder out there, but gets to it very quickly. A good throw in. You have to hold up a good runner in Logan Davidson at third base.
Now batting.
So going to go out there to talk to his pitcher is the catcher, Luke Roscom, before he faces Hayden Cantrell. 1 for 1 today is the University of Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajun. Even with 1 swing of the bat, the best case scenario, all the Commodores can do is have the lead. But they'll be right back in this one, and with a base knock or even anything that gets into the outfield, they could put across their first run of the day in compliments of a great runner, like you said, Cam, at third base in Logan Davidson. At second, Herbert Iser, who just doubled out to right center. Hines set, deep breath, DBU Patriot, goes at it with the 0-1. Changeup drops in there, strike 2.
Be a big out from for McGregor Hines to get if he can get the K here, or anything that doesn't bring one of those runs home. See what he goes to with 2 strikes. Saw him with the breaking pitch earlier to get Davis Sims. See if he goes back to that again.
Infield back for Wareham, willing to sacrifice a run for an out. In the driver's seat, Hines, the 0-2. Breaking ball, weakly hit right side. Lyle Lockhart on a couple of hops, going to take it himself, and that will get a run in, but does record the second out of the inning. 6-1 Gatemen here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, that's the right play by Lockhart. You mentioned it. They're willing to take that out to get a run home. The Gatemen are, especially. And it's a bit of a slow roller to Lockhart, but he can take it himself. Doesn't really mind that run coming in after the big inning.
Not at all. Now runner on third, Herbert Iser, who was able to move up on the ground out. A lot less dangerous with 2 outs here. Will Brennan take strike 1, searching for his first hit of the day. Lined out on a frozen rope to Jeremy Idens in left. Popped out routinely his next time up in the 3rd, out to Skylar Hunter in center. The 0-1 from Hines. Swinging a hard ground ball and a couple of hops to Isaac Collins. He boofed it. That'll get another run in on what will undoubtedly go down as an E4. It was hit hard, but Isaac Collins not able to come up with it. First game back at second base in a while. Did already have a putout in today's game back in the 1st on another hard hit ball by Austin Langworthy. But now here with a runner on first, that E4 makes it a 4-run ball game.
Yeah, and that's one Isaac Collins has to have. Just routine ground ball. Eats him up a little bit, but still nothing too high. Should be able to keep it in front of him. And obviously no RBI with the reaching on the error, but that's still one you got to have if you're Collins at second base.
Ball 1 now misses low to Maverick Hanley. Giving the Commodores a little confidence, a little life here. Wareham would be behooved to respond in the top of the 6th. Once Hines and company get out of the frame. Now misses just up and in, 2-0 to Hanley.
Really not a bad pitch there from Hines. Thought he was going to get the call to make things 1-1, but this, just the struggles continuing for McGregor Hines at the end of a long, long season for him between a couple different summer leagues. Now 3rd straight appearance he's come into and given up a run.
Way upstairs, 3-0.
And there is action in that Gatemen bullpen. One of the new signees, Alex Stiegler, out of Yale, the man warming up.
It's going to get fun down the stretch here, Cam. 3-0 pitch, fastball misses low.
And now every appearance that McGregor Hines has had for the Gatemen, he has given up at least 1 walk. Even 5 for 5.
Now batting, the center fielder from Florida, number 7, Austin Langworthy.
Langworthy steps in out of Florida, as you probably heard over the PA, playing center field today for Falmouth. 1 for 2 with a single, came back in the 4th.
If you're Mac Hines, you got to bear this down, man. I mean, you don't want to get them back in the ball game here. A big hit could do that, bring in a run or 2, cut this lead in half, maybe even further.
That's the way to do it. Changeup died as soon as it hit home plate, 83 low. Out of the hand of Hines, cut right over the top of it, did Langworthy, 0-1. Langworthy has shown pop this year despite hitting just over the Mendoza line. 2 home runs in a single game against Wareham. One of those came off Nathan Florence, today's starter. That breaking ball misses outside. Same pitch, different location, different result, 1-1. (6-2) Wareham. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hines checks the runner behind him, goes forward. 1-1. Got the outside corner. Heck of a frame by Luke Roskin.
It was a borderline pitch, but I think it's the best we've seen from McGregor Hines in this inning. 89 miles an hour, right on the black. Got a bit of help, but we mentioned it earlier. That outside corner's been open against left-handed hitters.
Zippy fastball, well located, like he said. Cam, we'll see what he comes back with here. The 1-2 to Langworthy. Swinging a hard ground ball, this one to Collins. Easier pickings for the Creighton Blue Jay. Bounces back and retires the side. 4-3 put out. Gets it done for the Gatemen in the 5th, but Falmouth not dead yet. They push across 2 and come within 4. 6-2 Wareham is your score. We go to the top of the 6th from Arnie Allen Diamond at Gulf Fuller Field on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
12th birthday to one of our beloved bat boys.
The Wareham Gatemen thank Reed Custom Soils for your support. Reed Custom Soils is New England's most experienced precision soil blenders and is trusted by over 300 golf courses throughout New England.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or French fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. Falmouth responds to a 5 spot from Wareham in the top of the 5th with a 2 spot of their own in the bottom half of the frame. It is a 6-2 ball game. 6 runs on 9 hits and an error for Wareham. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Falmouth Commodores. Coming up in the top of the 6th here against Mitchell Miller, who struck out the side despite giving up, or, well, not really him giving up a run that Scott Politz, the starter today for Falmouth, put aboard. So he struck out the side and has had his degree of success against the Gatemen. Like we mentioned when he came on, got lit up and gave up the decisive runs in the 7-4 win that the Gatemen got on way back on what was the 4th game of the season here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. But has been lights out since. Pretty good stuff so far from the Clemson to West Texas A&M product. Isaac Collins, a leadoff man in the order, and in this inning, takes strike 1 on the outside corner. It'll be him, Jacob Goldfarb, and Austin Shenton.
It's kind of the way it always works out with the guy who makes the big defensive play, gets to lead things off in the next inning, but Collins trying to redeem himself for that error.
Error that ended up bringing the second Falmouth run of the day home. I think we're all just counting our lucky stars that the inning didn't snowball even more. We've seen some unfortunate hops in the infield get the better of the Gatemen and allow the hinges to just be shattered off the doors.
No pun intended.
No.
Doors are obviously the opponent tonight.
0-2 misses outside 1-2.
If you're into cool little nicknames, that is.
And that is a pretty accepted nickname around these parts, the Doors.
Yeah.
You know?
Second best Doors ever.
Right behind the D-O-O-R-S.
Yes.
As opposed to the D-O-R-E-S.
Greatest American band of all time. Just in case you were wondering.
1-2. Got him on the outside corner. Isaac Collins not happy with the call. Tough pitch to be retired on. Fastball just gets enough of the plate. 4th straight strikeout for Mitchell Miller. 1 away here in the 6th.
Yeah, I'm not wild about that call either. That looked a bit on the outside corner and a bit high, I think more so. But that's baseball.
Goldfarb trying to bounce back here and get a little something going for a Gatemen team that has been able to get the bats going with some adversity in the middle of innings. A lot of 2-out magic, like we said, from these Wareham bats pretty much all season. Although a lot more recently. 1-0 to Goldfarb, got him right in the right shoulder blade. Yee. Goldfarb seems like he's okay, though. Trots down to first, and a man on for Austin Shenton here in the 6th.
Yeah, and that one not the hardest we've seen from Miller, but still at 86, right in that shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And Goldfarb pretty frustrated, just flipped the bat after that. Typically, we saw that with Jeremy Idens again the other day. Not two guys who don't normally get too worked up, but when you get a fastball coming up by your head, if you're Idens, or in the back like Goldfarb, that'll rile you up a bit.
Well, Idens also got hit 3 times in that game against Katuitt. He got the bat taken out of his hands. First pitch out of Shenton. Cut and just missed at a fastball right down Broadway, 91. It was just under to he gets solid contact on that one, that thing goes to dead center.
You said it, he was licking his lips at that one. And just a tad off. Typically what you see from these good hitters when it goes straight back. More so for right-handed hitters, but for lefties as well.
Goldfarb at first, pretty conservative lead, already has a stolen base today. The 0-1 to Shenton, breaking ball, caught on and missed. Tipped into the glove of Handley, 0-2.
That's brilliant changing speeds.
Yeah.
From 91 to 75, we've been talking about it all night. And it forces Shenton to try and have to wait back on it, and just waits a bit too long.
Now all of a sudden in a bit of a hole here. Shenton not a big strikeout guy, part of the reason for his torrid pace all year into the playoffs. 0-2 will have to wait just a little bit. To first base goes Mitchell Miller. (6-2) Wareham, 1 away in the top of the 6th. Gatemen put up 5 last inning, try to add a couple more here. 0-2, got a piece of it, fouled it off. Jeremy Idens waiting on deck. UCLA product 0 for 2 today, but does have a walk on the day. Every Gateman has reached base today as part of the reason for the 5 spot, the crooked number in the 5th. Falmouth not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, though. They trail by 2 after putting up 2 in the bottom of the 5th. Runner takes off. Broken bat single into right field. Going to get down. Jacob Goldfarb with his jump. Going to go all the way to third. First and third for Wareham here. What a team hack from Austin Shenton there. Going out and getting that one. That couldn't have felt good on his hands.
No, and you mentioned it with the guy running at first base. He does have to go out and try and put this ball in play. And when you're a good hitter, you might just drop it out into right center field. Perfectly placed. And Goldfarb with that jump gets to go first to third easily and give another RBI situation for Jeremy Idens.
Jeremy Idens, the Cape League's RBI king in 2018. 31 driven in for the UCLA Bruin. Only guy to break the 30 plateau this year. Cuts at the first pitch, sends a lazy fly ball, foul ground. No one will get it. Herbert Iser gave chase for a little bit, but ended up desisting on it. More of an effort put in by a couple of children as they came streaming off the bleachers there, and foul ground here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. An eventful strike, but still a strike. 0-1 to Idens. 1 away, runners at the corners. Gatemen lead it by 4, trying to add a couple more here in the 6th. The 0-1. Cuts to the fastball and drives it a long way deep into left center field. Going back on it, Will Brennan reaches up and makes the catch. But the RBIs keep piling up for Idens. 7-2, Wareham, Goldfarb in to score.
And that's too bad for Idens because that's the best hold he's got on a ball in a long time.
Yeah.
Especially here in the postseason. Gave it an absolute ride to almost the deepest part of left field out there. It was just about a step or two in front of the wall, but luckily for him, Goldfarb running on the pitch before and Shenton dumping it into right center field. He gets to third and is able to tag up and score. That's when those little things in baseball start to come together.
Really start to add up. That would have been a very unproductive out by Idens if not for what you just said, Cam. Some aggressive base running by Goldfarb, yes, but a really gutsy team hack from Shenton, because oftentimes you see that as the runner takes off, and like you said, Cam, Shenton thinking, well, I got to put this ball in play, especially on a 2-strike pitch like that, going out and get it. Oftentimes what you see is a double play ball. Little weak dribbler or chopper up the middle. Sometimes with a good jump, you can turn that into just a 6-3 or a 4-3, but sometimes it ends up in a double play. 1-0 fastball hammered by Drew Millis out into right field, but ranging over on it is Matt Wallner and makes the catch on a hard hit ball by Millis. The Gatemen get one back. They lead it by 5. Now we go to the bottom of the 6th. 7-2 is your score on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a clubhouse that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. Enrique DeMore and Cam Stewart bringing you the action from Falmouth, where the Commodores are just 4 innings away, I should say, from being eliminated from the postseason for the second straight year by these Wareham Gatemen. Gatemen get one back in the top of the 6th. They lead it 7-2. 7 runs on 10 hits, 1 error for Wareham. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Commodores. But not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. We've harped on it. No lead is safe. No lady, man of any height, width, or shape has started singing here in Falmouth just yet. But McGregor Hines going to try to get everybody in some vocal warm-ups here, to poorly extend a metaphor.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Cam.
I really do.
Breaking ball drops in there for strike one to Cam Cannon, who will lead things off. He'll be followed by Matt Wallner and Logan Davidson. 1 hit, 2 walks between these three today. The 0-1. Missed down low with the fastball. Might have been a changeup, actually, now that I look up at the radar gun. 81 out of the hand of the DBU Patriot going into his senior year at Dallas Baptist. Hines now ready with the 1-1 from the windup. Misses with the breaking ball. 2-1.
It's something we've been watching with vested interest. That guy protecting whoever's throwing in the bullpen. Keep you updated. There's back to no one out there. But in the last half inning, there was a guy out there, Enrique, without a glove. He was just sitting there, arms folded. I don't know how much that helps.
Yeah, I don't know how much protection that actually is.
Hey, it's coming.
Stick your body in front of it, I guess. Just how much do you love the team at that point?
How much confidence they have in their own hitters. They only send them out there when the Gatemen are up.
3-1 in the dirt. Walks continue to pile up for McGregor Hines. Like you said, Cam, every single outing this year for the Gatemen, he has given up a walk. 2 in his first one, 1 in his second, 1 in his third, 1 in his fourth, and now 2 here today. Leadoff man aboard for Wallner.
That looks like we're going to see a call to the bullpen. Jim Lawler's already made the move.
He is out there to make the pitching change. Hines' control gets him in trouble here, I should say. And now the Gatemen will go to a new arm in the bullpen. We'll tell you exactly who it is. Gatemen trying to hang on to a 5-run lead. Leadoff man aboard in the 6th against Falmouth. We'll be right back.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Pitching change here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field, brought to you, of course, by the Bay Point Club, Onset 18-hole championship golf course. It is Alex Stiegler out of Yale making his second appearance of the year, going into his senior year. So in the same class as he started today, Scott Politz for Falmouth. Going to come in here with a runner on as McGregor Hines' day is done. An inning of work for him. Gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. as well as 2 earned runs. Stiegler coming into not exactly a delicate spot here, but I think a crucial inning for his confidence and for the fate of the Gatemen bullpen for the rest of Game 2, and by translation, if, God forbid, the Gatemen blow it here, Game 3.
Yeah, and I think it's crucial for him not only for that, but because his only outing this year was an inning against Bourne in the season finale, regular season finale, and he gave up 3 runs, but none of them were earned. So that can almost kind of mess with your confidence. You can't always convince yourself that it's not your fault. Maybe it was the defense behind him, obviously, allowing a couple of those runs to come home. So definitely needs to build up the confidence probably, and he has to do it with a team with their backs up against the wall, a good offense, and a good hitter in Wallner.
Who sends the first pitch into left field, a base hit. First and second, nobody out. Stiegler, 1 pitch, 1 base hit.
Now batting, the shortstop.
Like you said, Cam, these Commodores playing with nothing to lose. Stiegler coming into a spot here where he's coming into a spot where he has not been with this team that has so far rolled through the playoffs. First place in the West Division in the regular season for the first time since 2001. A historic season by all accounts here in Wareham. He's got a chance to either try to put this game to bed and get the Gatemen back to the title series against either Chatham or Brewster out of the East. But Falmouth knocking on the door here. Good changeup down low. Gets a cut and a miss from Logan Davidson, 0-1 though.
How about 2 pitchers from Yale tonight, Stiegler and Politz, and both from the state of Texas? That's another odd pipeline that we can add to the list. Stiegler from Dallas and Politz from the capital of Austin.
0-1, weak chopper, right side. Stiegler going to glove it. Going to take it to first. Bare-handed grab by Lyle Lockhart. Oh my goodness, that was close.
That was a weird play. Stiegler has to come way off the mound. It's right on the first base line. I didn't think he had any chance at this play. And then when he gets it with the glove, he decides to tag and then flip and doesn't get the tag, knows he can't get to the bag, flips it up, and Lockhart has to barehand it. And to be quite honest with you, I thought the man beat it out at first base in Davidson, but Gatemen get the benefit of the call.
Lyle Lockhart Jr. saving run after run after run with his glove, and now his not glove hand at first base. What a big out, but it does move 2 runners into scoring position over to third Cam Cannon. At second, Matt Wallner. Strike 1 coming into Davis Sims, 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks today. The 0-1, breaking ball, hammered down the line, foul. What could have been 7-4, Gatemen is instead just 0-2. Shenton playing about 5-10 feet off the line. And a few feet from the outfield, dirt there at third. Nothing even he could have done on that one. It was a missile that hugged the line. 0-2 from Stiegler. Tipped, he didn't get a piece of it, actually going over to first since first base is empty. Rolls all the way to the backstop. A run comes in for Falmouth, 7-3 on the drop third strike. Stiegler came up with a big pitch, got a cut and a miss, and I mean a mean cut and a miss on a fastball upstairs from Sims. And coming in to score is Cam Cannon over at third, Matt Wallner. One away here, runners at the corners for Herbert Iser, 1 for 2 today with a double and a run scored.
And that's almost the worst possible scenario for the Gatemen. This is one Roscom's got to come down with. I mean, he knows where the pitch is going. It's an elevated fastball, a tip off the glove, and it gets a slow runner in Sims down to first base, takes an out off the board, and brings a run home. That could be, mark that down on the scorecard. If Falmouth comes back here, that could be the play.
That one hammered high and deep in the left field, going back on it. Idens reaches up and makes the catch. 1 run going to come in to make it 7-4 Falmouth. 2 outs here. Sacrifice fly by Herbert Iser. Holding up at first is Davis Sims. And Commodores keep on fighting. 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. They are right back in it, Cam.
And that's how you come back in these games. The Gatemen, obviously, with the big crooked number, only in the 5th inning. It was the 5-run inning. So there's plenty of baseball left to be played. It's a shaky bullpen right now for the Gatemen. They have used their big, high-leverage guys already so far in this postseason. Start rolling out some new guys like McGregor Hines, like Alex Stiegler. You just got to keep plugging away at it if you're Falmouth. You can't get it all back in one swing.
Now they're being methodical here, playing team baseball, like you said, Cam. Even though that was a sac fly that produced the run there, that was a few feet away from being a long home run over the left field fence. Swinging a tip into the glove, 1-1. What a big strike.
Stiegler, a guy who's a bit stretched out as well. Not a full-time pitcher at Yale, also doubles as a third baseman. Was pitched more in the summer, so still something left in that arm.
Swinging a tip straight back, 1-2 in the driver's seat again. Got Sims in the same scenario. A little fastball by him upstairs. Let's see what he does here against Cantrell. He's 1 for 2 today. Big pitch coming up from Stiegler. The 1-2. Swinging a foul. Straight back over Arhez. We are right behind home plate, barely on the first base side. A drop third strike and a sac fly have done the damage here for the Commodores. Push 2 across in the 6th to make it 7-4. 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for Wareham. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Commodores. Man on first, that's Davis Sims. 2 away, the 1-2. Swinging a foul off his foot. Getting new life here with a bit of a bruised toe is Hayden Cantrell. Like I said, 1 for 2 with a single. Seven for Gatemen. We're in the 6th inning. 1-2 from Stiegler. Just outside, 2-2. Not a bad pitch on 1-2, though. I mean, it's a little... In a vacuum, that is not a bad pitch. I think for us, as we're a little on edge here, might not seem like the desirable outcome, but fastball low and away. It's a good place to miss on 1-2. Now the 2-2. Cantrell pops it up, foul ground. He stays alive.
The pitch before, and I think what didn't get the call for Stiegler is Roscom had that glove set up a bit inside, and it goes to the outside corner. And like you said, I think it might have caught a bit of the strike zone, but because of that, Roscom has to reach across, and it kind of brings his glove down, so he ends with it about in the dirt. So it's not a great setup for the umpire to see, even though it was probably about knee high, a little above the knees for Cantrell.
Yeah, like you said, Cam, sometimes that's what it comes down to, little stuff like that for the umpire. Today it's Sam Finn calling balls and strikes. It's where does Luke Roscom's glove go in the final nanoseconds. 2-2, run him up at the knees, strike 3. Frustrated at himself as Hayden Cantrell. He knows he should have taken a hack at that. And the Gatemen get out of a jam. Alex Stiegler comes up big, but the Commodores add 2. They trail by 3. We go to the top of the 7th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham. We are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings to boats.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. My name's Henrique DeMore. Alongside me, Cam Stewart, bringing you the action from Falmouth. 7-4 is our score, and the brunt of the scoring has been done in the last 2 innings. All runs except the first coming across in the last 2 frames. A solo shot by Shenton in the first. Seems like so long ago, but that is one of 7 runs that have come across for the Gatemen. In the 5th inning, Wareham able to send 11 men to the plate, push across 5 runs. They got 1 in the last inning as well. Send Jeremy Idens driving in a run with the sacrifice fly, but Falmouth chipping away at the lead here. Strike 1 delivered at the knees to Luke Roscom. 1 for 3 with a double and a pair of strikeouts. That one lifted lazily out of play, 0-2. Roscom, one of the more patient hitters, if not the most patient hitter in this Gatemen lineup. He's in a bit of a hole here, 0-2. Miller delivers, strike 3 at the knees. Got him with the breaking ball, 78. Luke Roscom takes the walk back to the dugout. 3rd strikeout of the day for him, 1 away in the 7th. Fifth strikeout of the day for Mitchell Miller, who came on in relief of Scott Politz. He has struck out 5 of the 7 batters he has faced so far. First pitch to Lyle Lockhart is a fastball that misses upstairs, 1-0. Lockhart 0 for 2, strikeout and a walk today. Breaking ball, drops in there for strike 1. Lockhart checking with Sam Finn, the home plate umpire, to see where exactly that caught the zone. Gets a confirmation. Now the 1-1 gets a fastball right down Broadway. Lockhart fouls it off, 1-2. Gatemen 1 in the 1st, 5 in the 5th. 1 in the 6th. Falmouth 2 apiece in the 5th and the 6th, and that is where we stand right now. Falmouth with a comeback win would send it to a decisive Game 3 at Spillane Field. The first time the Gatemen will have had their backs against the wall facing elimination all postseason. Lockhart stays alive, takes a cut at a fastball, sends it straight back. 1-2, the count remains. The Gatemen can hold on. Meanwhile, they will go to the finals for the first time since 2012 when they won it all. They will face the winner of the Chatham-Brewster series. Game 2 of that series supposed to be at Stony Brook at 4 o'clock today, postponed to tomorrow, same time, same place. Same pitch, same result. Lockhart stays alive, putting together a great at-bat here as the Houston Cougar. If nothing else, try to drive up Mitchell Miller's pitch count. Already coming up on 50 here. Entering his 3rd full inning of work. The 1-2. Swinging a chopper left side. Nice backhanded play by Cam Cannon. Long throw across the diamond. Picked by Herbert Iser. And a nifty 5-3 defensive play retires Lockhart for the 2nd out in the inning. Mitchell Miller pointing from one corner to another. He knows exactly how grateful he should be. His corner infielders bailed him out there.
Number 5, Ryan Kreisler.
Well hit ball there by Lockhart. Should have been a base knock in some capacity. But instead, just a 5-3 putout. Like I said, heck of a play by Cam Cannon, but also a really great pick by Herbert Iser, who missed a pick earlier in today's game that comes up big there and makes it 2 away, nobody on. Now for Ryan Kreisler. Kreisler takes ball 1 in the dirt. Has recently found a bit of a power stroke. Big solo home run against Falmouth in Game 1 yesterday at Spillane. 1-0 from the wind-up big leg kick. Deals a fastball that is cut right through by Kreisler. 1-1. Skylar Hunter on deck, 1 for 3 with a run scored. What was then the 2nd, or I should say 3rd run of the day for Wareham. Check swing foul ball, 1-2. Hunter, one of 5 guys in this Wareham lineup that are hitting above 300 in the postseason. 1 of 2 hitting above 500. The other one, Austin Shenton. The 1-2 to Kreisler. Breaking ball, misses low. Died a little bit at the end, I should say. from Mitchell Miller. You've seen him change speeds, even pitch to pitch, 15, sometimes 20 miles an hour. 2-2. Swinging a chopper left side. Another one for Cam Cannon. Gloves it at about chest level. Across the diamond. Nice reach by Herbert Iser. Retires the side. Back-to-back 5-3 putouts. That is how the Gatemen go down. We will go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Here from Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. Stretch time as the Gatemen lead at 7-4. But before we send it to that inning, we are going to have our sideline reporter, Mary Orders, check in with head coach Don Snedden, and we go to her now.
Enrique, so Coach, how big was it to get out to a significant lead early?
Well, we got it because we have pitching now that it's uncharted water, so we just got to see if we can out-hit them.
You talk about the pitching. What's the plan for the rest of the night with the bullpen?
Don't have a plan.
What'd you like out of Florence's outing?
He did a great job. He really mixed some things up and really liked the way he competed out there for that, giving us 4 shutout innings. That was great.
Coach, thanks so much. Enrique, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mary, and our head coach, Don Snedden. 7-4 is the score here. Alex Stiegler back on the hill for the Gatemen. Just finishing up their warm-up tosses. Mitchell Miller with an immaculate third inning, a strikeout, and a pair of nifty 5-3s to put out Lyle Lockhart Jr. and Ryan Kreidler.
The left fielder from Kansas State, number 10, Will Brennan.
As the pitch count continues to climb a little bit for Mitchell Miller, but hovering at 61 through 3 innings. We'll see if he gets the call in the 8th. Might see a couple of different arms, but the Gatemen go scoreless in an inning for the first time since the 4th. This should be easy picking. Skied to shallow center field. Ryan Kreidler coming back on it, reaches up and makes the catch. Excellent work by Stiegler. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th. Will Brennan pops out to Kreidler.
Stanford, number 1, Maverick Handley.
Maverick Handley will bat here, 0 for 2 with a walk. That one chopped foul, 0-1. Austin Langworthy waiting on deck, 1 for 3. Just 5 hits for Falmouth, but they managed to squeeze 4 runs out of them. Gatemen do have an error on the day. That one committed by Isaac Collins. A rare one, pretty sure-handed out there, especially at second base. That is his home position. Stiegler, meanwhile, taking no prisoners in the top of the order here. On the verge of getting 2 outs in 4 pitches, the 0-2. Sidearm delivery, that one roped into center field. Going to get down for a base hit in front of Skylar Hunter. Left a fastball a little too high in the zone, especially for 0-2. Handley takes advantage of it. He is aboard here with 1 out. Langworthy, like I said, 1 for 3 with a single. Going to try to get something going here. The guy on deck, Cam Cannon, the RBI man this year. One of the All-Stars, 1 of 6 on this Falmouth Commodores team. They trail it by 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Entire crowd behind him here on their home turf. Breaking ball misses up and away badly to Langworthy, 1-0. Lone Ranger trying to fire up the crowd on a consistent basis here in Falmouth. Their team has definitely had the momentum for the last half hour or so. The 1-0 from Stiegler. Got him at the knee, strike 1. What a big opportunity here for Stiegler to put together a scoreless frame, especially as a guy who was a late call-up. Has been with the team less than 2 weeks, 10 days at max. In his last appearance, gave up 3 runs, but none of them earned. That one hammered high and deep into left field. Iden's going back on it, reaches up and makes the catch. Idens covers a lot of ground out there in left field, sometimes plays center field as well. Was the starting center fielder for the West Division, as far as the All-Stars are concerned. Langworthy gave that one a ride, but is just out number 2. Allowed one, but out number 2 nonetheless. Hanley stays at first. Cam Cannon, the batter. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. First pitch fastball misses outside, 1-0. Waves the bat around once, twice, 3 times. A dinner table colored bat in Cannon's hands. Breaking ball, absolutely nasty, does not get the call there. That is a bummer. 2-0 is the count. Stiegler trying to put Cannon away here. He's searching for his first hit of the day. Trying to keep it at a 3-run ball game. Maverick Hanley at first. Not before Luke Roscom calls time. He's going to go out to talk to his pitcher before delivering a crucial 2-0 pitch to the RBI leader for Falmouth this year, Cam Cannon. On the other side of the Cape, Chatham and Brewster. Chatham with a 1-0 lead in that series. That game postponed today to tomorrow, game 2 at Brewster. The Caps have gotten hot. Ended the season on a tear. Orleans melted down. They swept YD. 2-0 pitch. Tip off the glove of Roscom, 2-1. Brito Serafino out of Rutgers warming up in the pen. I should say Serafino Brito. It's a guy with a first name that sounds like a last name and vice versa. Still getting used to it. Strike 2 coming into Cam Cannon. Hanley at first. Stiegler 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. What a big spot for the Yale Bulldog. The 2-2. Breaking ball. Did he go? Appeal down to first? No. What's new? I think I've seen once in my entire summer here an appeal made down to a base umpire and them saying he went around. Huge, and I mean huge pitch coming up here. Hanley will be off on the pitch. Full count, 2 down. Gatemen up by 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Stiegler swinging a tip foul straight back. Count remains full. Most animated I've seen the crowd at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field all day, let alone all year. Stiegler, the second Yale Bulldog to come out of this game. Started today, Scott Polis also out of Yale. Again, the payoff pitch. Swinging a hard ground ball, left side foul. As everyone takes a deep breath on the Wareham side, but on the Falmouth side, continuous cheers. Both sets of bleachers packed, as well as the hill in between those 2 sets of bleachers. 1 on, 2 out, bottom of the 7th. Gatemen lead it by 3. Payoff pitch, swinging a line drive into left field, a base hit. The inning continues for Falmouth. Stiegler came so close on a couple of occasions. A single out to left field brings up the game-tying run in Matt Wallner. 1 for 2 today, single, a walk, a strikeout, but also a run scored. Batting for the 2nd time in as many innings. And Stiegler, in his previous outing against Bourne, in which he gave up the 3 unearned runs, a similar situation. He had a lot of guys in 2-strike counts, but has not been able to finish the job. Breaking ball misses upstairs to Wallner, 1-0. What a huge spot to get out of here for Stiegler if he's able to do so. Ryan Kreisler going to slow down the pace of play here. Going out to talk to Alex Stiegler. Telling him, hey, trust your stuff. You've gotten close a couple of times. See what you can do here against Wallner, the 1-0. Got him with the fastball. Low and outside. What a location on that pitch. Borderline pitch, I should say. Good frame by Roscom. The 1-1 coming up here to Wallner. He's a guy who, for the first two-thirds of the season, batted mostly out of the leadoff spot. Even in the three-game set that these two teams played late in the year, found himself up there. But today, batting out of the 5-hole. 1-1 swing and a miss. Everyone on the Wareham side trying to contain their excitement here, myself included. Two on, two out, the 1-2 to Wallner. Stiegler goes home. Foul tip on the breaking ball low, 72. Been impressed with the breaking stuff from Stiegler. And he's missed low with pretty much everything, and when he's missed high, he's missed badly enough to where he hasn't gotten swings out of it. No Falmouth hitter has really made them pay. Now again the 1-2. In the dirt, Roscom able to keep it in front of him. Count even to the Southern Miss Golden Eagle. Serafino Brito still warming up, the right-hander out of Rutgers. Stiegler taking his sweet time getting back on the bump, and so is Wallner in the left-handed batter's box. Handley at second, Cannon at first, the 2-2, breaking ball, lazy fly ball, shallow center field. Kreisler says he's got it, and he makes the catch. The Gatemen get out of the inning. Alex Stiegler, the Yale Bulldog, a Bulldog indeed in this inning. We go to the top of the fifth inning. Gatemen still lead it by 3. 7-4 is your score on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The law.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The Cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field, top of the 8th inning. 7-4 Wareham, but we would be remiss to talk about what happened in the last half frame. Alex Stiegler out of Yale in his second appearance on the Cape after struggling a little bit, and I do mean a little bit. He wasn't knocked around in the strictest sense in the 6th, but the Commodores did push across 2 and came up huge against the heart of the order for Falmouth, against Falmouth in the 7th inning, left them scoreless. Still kept it a 3-run ball game. I can't talk. That was such an exciting inning.
Yeah, and the 2 runs he gave up was only on 1 hit. And I think the hardest hit balls were the ones that became outs. Not that that makes too much of a difference to a pitcher. You think, I'm still getting knocked around. But as you said, I think you put it perfectly. Just able to bear down after that and make the pitches he needs to. Not a guy who throws extremely hard, doesn't have the best of stuff, but just located the pitches. We talk about it, location, location, location.
Real estate and pitching is one of, if not the most important tenets to get right in your profession. Location now being displayed awfully well in Mitchell Miller's 4th inning of work here. Came on with no outs in the 5th inning. Skylar Hunter sends a routine ground ball over to second. Hayden Cantrell, a 4-3 putout of the Gatemen center fielder, 1 away. 6 straight Gatemen retired, going back to the sacrifice fly by Jeremy Idens in the 6th. Isaac Collins will come to bat, 2 for 4. Single, triple, pair of RBIs on that triple, as well as a run scored.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, we talked about the 2 Yale Bulldog teammates from Texas, Dallas and Austin respectively, and Henrique. If you go from one of those cities to the other on I-35, you know what the biggest city you're going to hit on the way is?
On the way, go.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Thank you.
Certainly is the whack.
Your home for 9 months out of the year anyway.
About equidistant, 90 miles to each.
As you taught me a couple of days ago, Texas, dang big state.
It's big.
0-1 for Miller, blows a fastball by Collins, 0-2.
Not to blow up your spot or anything, but you had asked where Waco was, and you asked if it was near El Paso.
Yeah, I whiffed on that one.
And I think I said it's about a day's drive. El Paso's Mexico, man. I mean, that's pretty far.
It's basically
take a plane.
Mexico, yeah.
You would take a plane.
0-2 to Collins, just missed inside. Really good frame by Handley, but couldn't convince Sam Finn calling the balls and strikes behind the plate today.
It's a really good-looking pitch on the inside corner. That's one Miller's got to have.
Collins granted an extra life here. The 1-2. Breaking ball, got a piece of it, sends it foul. We'll do it again. Count remains 1-2. Jacob Goldfarb on deck. Been a productive day at the plate for him. Has reached base 3 times. And what more can we say about the kid? Gets on base.
That's all he does.
That's all he does.
Death taxes and Jacob Goldfarb getting on base.
Yes, sir. Fielder's choice, single and hit by a pitch, and has scored twice. Also an RBI on the day. 1-2 to Collins. Similar pitch, similar result. Got just a piece of it. As Collins tried to put everything he had into that swing. Oftentimes you see on 0-2, 1-2 counts, guys take more defensive swings. That was very much not a defensive swing from Collins.
That was a swing with intent right there.
That was if you're a MLB 2K player, play on the Xbox, that's a B swing, if I've ever seen one. 1-2, fastball misses outside, 2-2.
Because if you're gonna swing, it might as well be a B swing.
Especially on that pitch, I mean, it was a breaking ball, and that was the reason that Collins got just a piece of it instead of hitting it on the screws, because it was low and inside, but it died a little bit at the last second, so Collins swung over the top of it. 2-2. Outside missed again. Count goes full. Collins putting together another very good at-bat, working himself out of the 0-2 hole, 1 pitch away from getting on base.
And you mentioned that breaking ball that we've seen from Miller. Big, tall, lanky left-hander. It's not the usual curveball slider that's going to dip all the way through the zone. It's stuff with a little bit of bite at the end that you normally see from a shorter guy.
Payoff pitch. Collins gets a piece of it, sends it on a missile straight back.
I think of a guy like Andrew Miller in the pros or Chris Sale with that kind of body type. And it's a lot of curveballs and sliders that catch every piece of the zone, but it finishes out by the guy's shoe tops. And gets so many of the strikeouts off of that. This Mitchell Miller, not necessarily the case.
Swinging a missile down the first base line. Foul ball as the count remains full. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Isaac Collins.
This has been a Bulldog outing for Miller. 62 pitches already delivered out of the bullpen. He's the guy the Commodores need.
Weakly hit ground ball, oddly backhanded by Cantrell, but he goes across the diamond, back-to-back 4-3 putouts. Skylar Hunter and Isaac Collins, 2 away bases empty for Goldfarb.
And Collins wishes he had this one back. This one did not necessarily have the bite we were talking about. He's still got a weight on it, and he's still a bit out in front of it, and that's why it was just pile-drived into the ground, into the second baseman. If he waits on it a bit more, he might be able to line it into the outfield.
Like we said, 63rd pitch of the outing. Coming up here to Jacob Goldfarb. He takes ball 1.
If you're the Gatemen, it's obviously 2 outs now, but it's imperative to get something going offensively. This bullpen has been hanging on by a thread, and we've seen the crowd turn in this game. It's certainly there for the taking. This is a very competitive ball game. It ain't 6-0 anymore. It's a ball game going into the last couple innings.
And the momentum really has been with Falmouth ever since the bottom of the 5th inning. Even those 2 runs that they got across to make it 6-2 really felt like the tide has started to turn. Put across 2 more in the 6th, I should say. They only trail it by 3. 2-0 to Goldfarb, misses up and in, 3-0. I think to another point, or another reason you want to try to jump on Miller here, no one warming up in the Falmouth bullpen. So if you can start to knock him around here, Miller trying to bounce back from a 3-0 count. That one misses badly in the dirt. So Goldfarb, what does he do? He gets on base.
What else is new?
On base for the 4th time today. On a 1-for-3 day, has scored twice, an RBI, a stolen base. He has done it all. A utilitarian, unselfish at-batsman. Offensive player may be a better term for that. Just kind of fell out.
That, at-batsman.
Kind of fell out of my mouth.
It's like Obunsman.
It's like a what now?
An Obunsman.
What?
I'll let you look that up. You're a journalist, Enrique. You should know that. Anyway, I was going to say, your point.
Shenton moonshots that one into deep left center field. Going back on it, Wallner reaches up and makes the catch. Or I should say Will Brennan, my apologies, the other corner outfielder for Falmouth. Gatemen get one aboard, but strand him at first. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Falmouth trails by 3 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Green, 285-959.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. J.D. Rachi in here alongside Cameron Stewart. Just taking a quick half inning here from Henrique DeMoris. He has some things to deal with. The right-hander Alex Stiegler back to the mound. And the switch-hitting shortstop Logan Davidson will lead things off for the Falmouth Commodores, down 7-4.
Davis Sims, who is one of the most feared hitters in this Falmouth lineup, his spot is due up next, but we've now seen the Auburn Tiger, Edouard Julien, grab a bat and go in the on-deck circle. As I mentioned earlier in the game, he too, one of the hottest hitters in the Cape League coming in.
First pitch from Alex Stiegler into Logan Davidson. Change up at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. Stiegler got into some trouble in the last inning, although he has only allowed 3 hits and 1 run. Was able to get out of a first and second jam in the 7th. The 0-1, it's a breaking ball and misses low. The ball on a strike on a 72-mile-an-hour curver.
I'm a bit surprised to see Stiegler out there. He worked out of the jam last time, but it looked like we were seeing the last drops of gas in the tank.
His 1-1, another looping breaking ball and on the outside corner, 1-2 at 75 miles an hour.
But if he can locate that breaking ball in the outside corner like he just did, he's got plenty of gas left in there because guys can't hit that.
Good hitter at the plate, though. The switch hitter Logan Davidson batting left. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Also has walked and scored a run. Ball and 2 strikes. Stiegler rocks back, kicks and fires. The 1-2 comes inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 89 miles an hour on the fastball.
And 89 is pretty much where we've seen him top out tonight, Stiegler.
So the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th. From Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field, Gatemen 6 outs away from advancing to the CCBL Championship Series. Here's the 2-2 from Stiegler. Swung on and missed. Tipped into the glove of Luke Roscom. Big strikeout for Stiegler. That's his 2nd K of the day. Brought to you by Lang, Exafars, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
Definitely takes something off of that one. On pitch number 40 on the night for Stiegler. It's been a while, you got to think, since he's offered that many. He only signed with the Gatemen last week, coming out of the NECBL, but will certainly put up a fight for them tonight. Now we see, in fact, Julien come up to the plate.
So Edouard Julien, the second baseman DH, we've seen him do a couple of things here for Falmouth. He's got great power. And a lot of the times you see guys coming off the bench and you're trying to get some power into the lineup. We mentioned Davis Sims coming off a tweaking of the back that he had struggled with also his freshman year of college, so they wanted to be sure he was all ready to go. First pitch to Edward Julian. Change-up on the inside corner, but it misses above the belt, 1-0. So Sims missed the last couple of games. He DHs tonight, but now you're kind of trading power for power here. Yeah, Sims has a lot of it, but so does Julian. 1-0. Breaking ball at the knees, misses low. 2 balls and no strikes.
They're 2 close pitches that Stiegler does not get the benefit on. This one low, but the one before it high, I thought definitely he was going to get the call. Not where he wanted it, obviously, leaving a breaking ball up, but it looked like it caught the zone.
2-0 fastball rides out and away, and the count runs full of pitches out of the strike zone. It's 3-0. Julian in 3 games in this postseason. He's played everyone up to this point, a 200 average. He's 2 for 10. No extra base hits to speak of, no RBIs. He's also got 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Here comes the 3-0 from Stiegler. Get me over fastball does its job. Took something off it at 86. It's 3-1. Stiegler, the right-hander out of Yale. Coming over to the Gatemen after the NECBL season finished. 3-1. Fastball popped up back and left over our heads. 3-2. So the count is now full. Herbert Iser, the first baseman, headed to Dallas Baptist by way of San Jacinto Community College, waits on deck for the Falmouth Commodores here in the bottom of the 8th. Stiegler takes a deep breath, shakes off a couple of signs, rocks back, kicks and fires the payoff pitch. He got him. Swing and a miss from Edward Julian. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the 8th inning for Alex Stiegler. 2 gone in the 8th.
And Alex Stiegler just keeps impressing me, keeps finding something out of nothing. Falls back 3-0 against a guy who hasn't had a swing all night and ended the season really strong with a 600 average over the final week of the regular season for the Commodores and puts 3 past him in a row.
Gateman still not out of the woods, though. First pitch to the DBU Patriot Iser. Breaking ball up and away, a 1-0.
And this is a huge inning for Stiegler and the Gatemen. As I mentioned in the top half, the Gatemen needed to get something going to kind of put this game back out of reach. They didn't do it. And the Commodores coming in hot, coming into this inning with 4 runs in their last 3 innings and leaving a couple guys on in their only scoreless one last inning. It's big to silence the bats if Stiegler can get this final out.
1-0 fouled off. It's 1-1 to Iser. He's got 2 RBIs on today, a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 6th, and an RBI double in the 5th inning. 1-1. Another looping breaking ball, and it's 73, but it misses up and away, 2-1.
And on top of that, if Stiegler can get you through this inning and get you to the 9th, if it's still a save situation, it brings you right into someone like Ryan Stoudemire.
Here comes the 2-1, swung on and drilled high and deep out to right field, but it will twist foul. Just to the right of the right field foul pole. And it's 2-2, deuces across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, Gatemen have a 3-run lead here in a would-be series clincher in the West Division Finals. This is where the Gatemen were eliminated last year, beaten by the Bourne Braves in the West Division Championship Series. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch from Stiegler. Breaking ball is ripped into right field, and it will fall in front of Jacob Goldfarb and down for a hit. So a 2-out single for Herbert Iser on a breaking ball on the inner half. Took it right back where it was pitched. 2 outs in the inning still, but here comes the bottom of the order in Hayden Cantrell.
It looks like that leash is still going to be have some slack for Alex Stiegler. Jim Lawler has not come up from his seat. Serafino Brito has been warming up sparingly in the last couple of innings, but he seems like he's ready to go in. But it looks like this is going to continue to be Stiegler's.
Now there are some fans, it looks like, moving down the left field line all at once. There is some seats down that left field line, so all the umpires making sure that they're all safe before we resume play here. Cantrell, the left-handed hitting second baseman out of Louisiana Lafayette. First pitch, fastball ripped right to Ryan Kreisler. It kind of eats him up, but he throws on to second to shortway. 6-4 putout to end the 8th inning. And Alex Stiegler throws another scoreless frame, so after giving up 1 in the 6th, back-to-back scoreless innings for the Yale Bulldog in the 7th and 8th. Headed to the top of the 9th, Gatemen trying to add a couple insurance runs. They're up 7-4 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is sponsored by Dietz & Watson Premium Meats and Cheeses. They've got everything you need for summer grilling, like 100% beef franks. These franks are made of hand-trimmed beef with that old-fashioned snap when you bite into them. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. Gatemen trying to add some insurance runs in a 7-4 lead that they hold here heading into the 9th inning. Henrique DeMore back here with you. Big thank you to J.D. Rachi stepping in there while I stepped out for a half inning. Missed a good one from Alex Stiegler. What an outing for the Bulldog from Yale.
Yeah, he has certainly had a great bounce-back inning. This time left a couple runners on the inning before after giving up a couple of runs. He has certainly been impressive, just keeps adding to that.
That one hammered high into right field, but routine for over in right field. Matt Wallner, out number 1 recorded. Like we said, Cam, Gatemen just trying to get a couple insurance runs. Drew Millis and Luke Roscom going to be the guys to try to do that. Mitchell Miller still out there for the Falmouth Commodores.
He's been terrific in keeping them in this ball game. We talk about Stiegler for the Gatemen. Same thing for Mitchell Miller. If they are able to come back and win this thing, he's got to be Falmouth's player of the game.
I would think so, as the pitch count continues to climb for him. 70th pitch of the at-bat, or excuse me, 71st of the outing, I should say. Comes up here on the 0-1 to Millis. 2 for 4 today, pair of singles and an RBI for the Missouri State Bear. Up and in, 1-1. Luke Roscom waits on deck. Power hitting lefty already has a double today. Little extra base knocks, put someone in scoring position, or score maybe Millis if he's able to reach here. Would be huge for Wareham. Millis, meanwhile, dribbles that one weakly between his legs and foul down the third baseline. 1-2 the count.
Even though it's 4-5-6 in the order in this inning, Miller's got to look at it favorably. He's already pitched well against Jeremy Idens tonight, who's had a tough night. Drew Millis doesn't hit very well against left-handers.
Puts an absolute charge into that one. Back goes Brennan, looks up, and makes the catch. At the base of the wall, Drew Millis
Catcher from Nebraska,
absolutely nuked one into the stratosphere, but a little bit too high. No breeze really out here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gulf Fuller Field. Blowing, if anything, slightly out to left field. And man, oh man, Millis with one of the hardest hit balls I've seen all year. Comes up with an out. That's tough.
And that could have been the soundbite of the season. I hadn't even finished saying that he doesn't hit well off lefties.
That would have been quite the juxtaposition there.
Ugh.
As a lefty, Miller has a 1-0 count on Luke Roscom. Thought about it on a changeup low, 2-0. The 2-0 from the windup from Miller. Misses low, 3-0. Ryan Stoudemire in the pen, warming up for Wareham, another guy who has settled into a short relief role. We've seen him go multiple innings and seen him have success as well. But the back half of the season has been extremely consistently good for Stoudemire out of the pen as well as in that starting role. Now the Gatemen have a base runner here. Luke Roscom able to reach on the 4th pitch walk.
And I had said to JD in the last half inning that if Stiegler was able to get through that inning, that would be huge because it would bridge the gap to the 9th inning in a possible save situation, and you could bring in Ryan Stoudemire without having to use one of those other new guys to do one of those work one of those bridge innings. And that comes back as well to the 9th inning against Catuit. The 10-run 9th allows Stoudemire to only have to go one stressless inning in the 8th inning of that one. He set him down, I believe, 1, 2, 3.
Pretty darn
that
close
allows,
anyway, yeah.
allows him to be ready for a game like today.
Breaking ball drops in there for strike one, outside to Lyle Lockhart Jr.
Because if Stoudemire's not available for this game today and you're in a safe situation, I don't even know who you use.
Maybe throw out Stiegler for 4, but
it's tough. And I mean, the guys you use back there, Stoudemire, Hart, and Joey Barron, all pitching in the last 2-3 days.
No, those are guys that, that makes this situation so much bigger. If the Gatemen are able to advance to the finals, those are guys you need fresh to play in the finals where all the chips are on the table. You got to throw out as many of your studs as you can. You need as many of them out of the pen as you can. 1-1. Lyle Lockhart Jr. rips that one foul down the first base line. Herbert Iser giving chase and desist as it drops 10 feet over the fence. But Stoudemire, like I said, and like you know, pretty rock solid in the last couple of weeks here. He will defend a 3-run lead, which is where we sit right now. 7-4 Gatemen. Wareham also out hitting the Commodores 10-8. One error apiece for these two teams. The number 1 and number 3 defenses in the league for Wareham and Falmouth, respectively. 1-2 misses way up and away. Couldn't bring the fastball down 90 miles an hour out of Miller's hand. Trying to keep this at a 3-run ball game. Lyle Lockhart Jr. trying to do the opposite of that. Started his current hot stretch of hitting with a mammoth grand slam against Orleans a couple of weeks ago. See what he can do here on a 2-2 pitch and a man on first in Luke Roscom. From the stretch, 2-2. Got a piece of a breaking ball, stays alive. Lyle Lockhart Jr. and Isaac Collins are two guys you can count on to put together pretty consistently, at least once a game, these 7-8 pitch at-bats. Just foul things off, defensive swing until you get one you like. Lockhart adjusts his batting gloves. Stares at his black bat. Taps the plate twice. Adjusts his helmet. Swings it around. Crouches into his stance. 2-2 pitch rifled up the middle past the glove of a diving Logan Davidson into center field. A base hit. The inning continues for Ryan Kreisler with 2 on and 2 out in the 9th.
That's the best Oldie's gotten one all day. Second time on base, first hit for Lyle Lockhart. And that fastball has lost a tick or two as Miller has gone on. This one just catches way too much of the plate, and it's smoked right back where he came from.
I mentioned that the Gatemen would be behooved to try to get to Mitchell Miller as soon as possible. It looks like that will be the end of the day for him here with 2 outs in the 9th. So whoever's coming in to replace him, it's a left-hander. We'll tell you exactly who out of the break, but coming into a pretty key situation. 2 on, 2 out, top of the 9th. Gatemen lead it by 3. Pitching change from Falmouth when we come back.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Falmouth goes to the pen with 2 on and 2 out in the 9th. They trail by 3 and go to Tommy Sheehan out of Notre Dame to replace Mitchell Miller, who threw 83 pitches in almost 5 innings of relief of Scott Politz, the start of the day from Yale. Fantastic outing until recently from Miller. And if Tommy Sheehan pushes all the right buttons, it could just be a stellar outing with no asterisk on it. Fourth appearance exclusively out of the pen. 1 inning of work in each of his last 3, July 23rd, 27th, and 31st. He's given up just 1 hit all year, has struck out 3 and walked 1. It's been about as good as they come. Unbelievably efficient has Sheehan been. We saw him for 1 inning in the 5-1 win at Spillane Field back on July 27th. Gatemen managed just 1 walk against the left-hander. 6'3", 205 out of Notre Dame. Ryan Kreisler, who homered yesterday and has been putting the buggy whip on a couple of balls recently. See what he can do here with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch misses low, 1-0 to the UCLA Bruin.
And for Falmouth, this guy's been a big lift, a guy you can bring in at the end of July, even before those other summer leagues are over, and come in, give you 3 appearances, all scoreless, and to add a left-hander in your bullpen, that's key.
Never a bad idea, Cam. Couldn't agree more. This is in the same spot, 2-0 to Kreisler. Luke Roscom at second, Lyle Lockhart Jr. at first. Walking a single respectively is how we got here in the 9th. Gatemen lead it by 3, 11 hits for the Gatemen.
And he doesn't have the numbers of Adam Lasky, but he certainly has the stuff. Has only walked 1 guy all year. He's a strike thrower, and that might not always be the term of endearment you hear for pitchers, but I think in this case it is. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He pounds the strike zone, heavy fastball guy, but it's not very hard. And you remember what Ryan Kreisler did against Adam Lasky yesterday.
Why, I do. He sent one almost 400 feet over the bleachers at Spillane Field. Waiting on a 3-0 pitch, taken all the way. Gets a fastball right down Broadway, 3-1 the count. Skylar Hunter waits on deck, 1 for 4 with a run scored. Kreisler looking for his second hit of the day. He as well as 1 for 4 with a run scored. Sheehan checks the runner twice, goes forward. 3-1 pitch skied, foul over the Falmouth dugout. What a big outcome that was. Payoff pitch coming up here to Kreisler. Both runners will be off.
We'll see Kreisler choke up on that bat like he does with 2 strikes. Huge for the Gatemen if they can get one into the outfield. Bring an insurance run home. Make it a lot easier on that bullpen.
Roscom at second, Lockhart at first. No one holding on either runner. They both take off. The 3-2 pitch skied foul. We'll do it again.
88 on the fastball, low in the zone. Not something Kreisler is particularly happy about, but he knows he's got to cover that plate with 2 strikes. Does exactly what he wanted with it. Just foul it off and get a chance to look at another one.
Gatemen trying to send it to the 9th with a 3-run lead at least. Payoff pitch. Swinging a high drive deep into right field, but going back on it, Matt Wallner reaches up and makes the catch for out number 3. Gatemen get a couple of base runners aboard with 2 outs, but Tommy Sheehan shuts the door. Gatemen try to close out the Commodores as they get to their last 3 outs potentially of the season. Don't go anywhere. It's going to get good. Bottom of the 9th coming up when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
At the intersection of Route 195 and 28,
founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more. Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
Welcome back to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. 11 hits to the Falmouth Commodores, 8 in this game. Wareham leads at 7-4, an error apiece for both these teams. And the top of the order going to try to save the season for Falmouth. And on the hill, still, Alex Stiegler.
I'm a little perplexed. A little bit perplexed. He's still out there. But I said that last inning, he proved me wrong again. This kid's got something. It's got to come out right now. It's winning time, Henrique.
It is winning time. Ball one delivered low first, though, to Will Brennan.
Going to be a tough road for him if he's not going to get that pitch. That's right at the knees to Brennan.
From the windup, the 1-0. Gets him there with a strike. 1-1 to the Kansas State Wildcat. Maverick Hanley waits on second. He's got a base knock. Austin Langworthy also has a base knock. He'll bat third in this inning. The 1-1 misses upstairs, 2-1. Stiegler can get out of this. He's not gonna buy another club soda in Wareham the rest of the summer. 2-1, skied foul, 2-2.
I like that.
Or whatever his drink of choice might be.
Yeah, he's going to be a senior.
Yeah.
So he could even go something harder in Wareham.
So we'll see after the game whether he goes for, like I said, the club soda or a orange Fanta, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
2-2 hammer deep into left field, but Jeremy Idens has a beat on it, reaches up and makes the catch. One down in the ninth.
This one ends up carrying, but off the bat, that's not the hardest hit one we've seen by a mile tonight.
I think we're all a little on edge here.
Yeah, Idens has to go back a little bit, but hindsight, it wasn't hit too hard. Going the opposite field maybe took something off it.
And I think like we were talking about between innings, I can't imagine the plan for Stiegler is anything more than leave him in until he starts to struggle. But if you keep getting outs and you keep throwing strikes, they're going to keep you in there. Pitch count closing in on 60 for Stiegler here, though. By far his longest outing of the year. He only had one before this. 0-1 to Hanley. Cut on and missed on a fastball, 91.
We talk about superstition with baseball players. Isaac Collins going with the stirrups today. Maverick Hanley started this game with the high socks look. Has pulled down the pants. Not the way you're thinking, probably. But full pant length now to try and mix it up.
Pulled down the pant leg.
That's better said.
As that one misses upstairs, 1-2. And if he did that before the seventh inning when he recorded his first base hit of the day, the single in the seventh, then could say it worked. Choking up on the bat here, waiting on the 1-2. Chopper left side. Shenton across his body. He got him. 2 away, bases empty for Austin Langworthy. And the Gatemen are 1 out away from advancing to the finals.
And that's not an easy play from Austin Shenton.
No, it is not.
Where he's got to reach down all the way going to his left. But it's too short a roller for Kreisler to try and take it himself. We see him try to force the issue so much because he's probably the best defender on the infield for the Gatemen. But Shenton makes it look easy.
FIU Panther comes up big. Langworthy, the last hope for Falmouth. And takes strike one at the knees. 2 away is Alex Stiegler. From the windup, the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Alex Stiegler on the verge of the single greatest relief outing of his career. The 0-2 to Langworthy. Breaking ball misses in the dirt. Heck of a pitch on 0-2, though. 75 with that nasty breaking stuff. Stiegler ready, so is Langworthy. The 1-2. Just missed low with the fastball. Breaking ball low and away. Fastball low and in. Doesn't get the call on either of them. 2-2 the count. Stiegler lasered into center field, a base hit. The Commodores are not dead yet. More ninth inning histrionics. Don't even know if I used that word correctly. It just felt like the right word to say. 2 outs here for Cam Cannon, 1 for 3 today.
And boy, haven't we seen this before. Last 2 save situations. And now Jim Lawler going to come out. Let's see if this is it for Stiegler.
We'll see what he does. He's going out there to discuss strategy going forward here. You can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi of Merrill Lynch. We'll see what happens here. I don't know what you do. Well, the question was answered for me. They're going to leave Stiegler in.
Yeah, and you know what? This is probably his last batter no matter what.
Yeah.
You've got a dangerous hitter at the plate right now in Cam Cannon. But either way, if he gets him out, obviously the game's over. But it's still a safe situation in 2 outs to bring in Ryan Stoudemire. Definitely not the end of the world if you're Jim Lawler. That's the guy you'd want to bring in.
So working from the stretch here is Stiegler. Got out of a couple of jams so far. Missed low with the first pitch. 1-0 to Cameron Cannon. Another dangerous hitter behind him in Matt Wallner. Cannon ready, so is Stiegler. 1 aboard, 2 down. The 1-0. Swinging a missile down the left field line, foul.
On the flip side, this is the guy you want up if you're Falmouth.
Yeah.
Your leading RBI man on the year has come up in the clutch, had the walk-off hit in Game 2 against Hyannis. Obviously, doesn't represent anything less than the tying run here in a 3-run ball game with 1 man on.
1-1 to Cannon. Breaking ball driven high, deep into left field. Foul ground. Does Idens have a beat on it? He does not, but just a loud, long strike at the end of the day. And we're back here again. And even in those hairy save situations, we've seen within 1 strike, the Gatemen have come on multiple occasions in a single inning.
It's not something we're not used to. Hello, darkness, my old friend. 2 strikes and the game on the line.
Stiegler ready with the 1-2. The pitch. Swinging a chopper foul into the Gatemen dugout. We'll do it again.
And it's never pomp and circumstance. They always put up a fight.
With 1 more strike, Wareham advances to the finals. Here in 2018, we'll play either Chatham or Brewster. 1 on, 2 out. Gatemen lead it by 3 in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-2. Swinging a high fly ball deep to Jacob Goldfarb. This should do it. Under it. He made the catch. Alex Stiegler with 4 immaculate innings, and the Gatemen are going to the title.
That's the end of the ball game, folks. Final score.
Falmouth eliminated via the sweep for the 2nd year in a row by these Gatemen. And we will see the East Division winners in a few days. The Gatemen are your West Division champions, regular season and postseason. Back in the title series for the first time since 2012. What a game for the Gatemen. 2 electric wins over the Falmouth Commodores, have beat them 4 times in their last 5 tries against a team that we thought, bar none, going into the playoffs through the first round. And even here, we think if there's one team we do not want to face in the West, it's Falmouth. And the Gatemen came up huge. They showed exactly what they were made of here, eliminating Falmouth on their home turf. With a trip to the finals on the line, they sweep the Commodores. We'll play the East Division winners in just a couple of days here. Gatemen haven't lost in the playoffs.
And that was vintage 2018 Wareham Gatemen for you. You know what? The offense came out to play today. It was a big inning. It was the 5-run 5th that ends up being the difference and then some in the game. All of that coming, or 4 of the 5 coming, I should say, with nobody out. But they never make it easy on you. They face teams that battle back. We saw it with Katuitt. We saw it with Falmouth in both games this series. It didn't go away quietly, but the bullpen just does enough to get it done. Can't talk enough about how great Alex Stiegler was tonight.
Oh, yeah.
4 innings of work. When you thought he was down and out, he just keeps coming back. You save Ryan Stoudemire for another day. Talk about not wanting to save pitching in the postseason like this, but that is huge. They kept some slack on the leash for Alex Stiegler, and it wasn't too hairy out there at the 9th inning. Just can't say it enough. A kid who is just still becoming a pitcher. He splits time at Yale between pitcher and third base. Had a great season in the NECBL. Comes in here in the Cape League. Still only 1 inning of work, and that was coming with the 3 unearned runs. Works on the confidence today and shuts down a good lineup. Not a great lineup, but a good lineup that has their season on the line. They're giving you everything you got. And he just buckles it down, gets it done. Not the hardest fastball, not the best breaking stuff, but all about the location today. Gets the job done, had those hitters off balance.
And he proved, I think, even us wrong here.
Certainly did me. I said it on the air with JD. I said, I don't know why he's out there for another inning. Thought he was out of gas. I mean, the fastball, while not hard, had still lost a tick or two going through, and he just found something. He just reached in the back pocket and just kept finding something to pull out in winning time.
It's that Ivy League education, being resourceful, thinking on your feet. Stiegler coming up with an unbelievable performance. And how about it? The first and last times that the Commodores and the Gatemen play at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. 7-4 wins for the Gatemen. And with two completely new-look teams. I mean, this team has gone through basically two changes, three iterations. The Team USA, oh my goodness, the Gatemen are never going to lose a game, Gatemen, to this second third post-Team USA, and the third post everybody going home. And who are all these guys in the bullpen, Gatemen?
Yeah, and you mentioned it, two different teams in two different games. That game, the Gatemen spotted the Commodores a 3-run first inning and had to come back with a big eighth to take that 7-4 lead, courtesy a home run by Andrew Vaughn. That shows you how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But today, they are the ones who jump out to the big lead, 6-0 at one point, and hang on. They're the ones who get the gutsy bullpen performance.
So that'll do it for myself and Cam Stewart singing the praises of the Gatemen as they go to the finals for the first time since 2012, where they won it all and beat the YD Red Sox. They'll have to do it against either Chatham or Brewster. We won't know for another couple days exactly who they will play. But enough of us two. We're going to throw it to our post-game show host, J.D. Rocci, here post-game on the Gatemen Baseball Network after a quick commercial break. Thank you for listening again to your final. 7-4 Gatemen beating the Commodores.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is sponsored by Dietz & Watson Premium Meats and Cheeses. They've got everything you need for summer grilling, like 100% beef franks. These franks are made of hand-trimmed beef with that old-fashioned snap when you bite into them. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
Woo! What a game from Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. 7-4, the Gatemen are on to the CCBL Championship. They are the regular season West Division champions, and now the division's champion once more here on the playoffs. An absolutely incredible game for the Gatemen, and it all started in the first inning. Not too many times we see a lot of first inning runs from this Gatemen team. But who else was it but Austin Shenton, solo bomb in the first to get things started. Then Scott Politz kind of settled in. He got through the next 3 innings without anything coming across to score against him. The 5th inning, though, that was the turning point in this game and where things got ugly for the Falmouth Commodores. It all started with a single from Ryan Kreisler, then another single from Skylar Hunter, before an RBI triple. A 2-run triple from Isaac Collins plates both of those. The Gatemen go up by 2 at that point. It's 2-0. Jacob Goldfarb then ropes a single. He scores Isaac Collins. It's 3-0 Gatemen. Austin Shenton walks. Then Jeremy Idens walks to load the bases. Then Drew Millis, how about a single to score 2 runs as well, or 1 run. That's an RBI single for him, and he's got the Gatemen up at that point to a 6-0 lead. Then things kind of fell apart for the Gatemen as well. McGregor Hines coming in after a scoreless outing from Nathan Florence. He was absolutely incredible. 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 Ks for the right-hander out of Hartford. He goes out there, he throws an incredible game. Then McGregor Hines comes in, kind of falls apart. Doesn't fall apart in the first inning, although he does give up 2 runs in the 5th. Then he walks the first man of the 6th inning. Then that runner comes in to score. That's charged against him. His final line, 2+ innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, and a strikeout. And really, Falmouth just never went away. 2 runs in the 5th, 2 runs in the 6th. It was a very weird kind of game. The Gatemen were in the lead the entire way. At one point had a 6-0 lead, but then kind of fell apart there toward the end, but able to finish it off because of, well, the man that's about to join me, right-hander Alex Stiegler out of Yale, had an absolutely fantastic outing today. Just, you can't say much more about him. A guy that hasn't been here the whole summer, late season edition, pitched in the NECBL to start the summer, came in, pitched in the Bourne game, the last game of the regular season, had a pretty good outing then, comes back and puts together, maybe, we're going to ask him, but possibly one of the best outings he's ever had in the kind of situation that he has been placed in. He is our player of the game. He's joining us now. Alex, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely fantastic outing for you. 4 innings, 5 hits, only 1 run. You pick up the W. You come into a situation where McGregor Hines is kind of, he didn't really have the stuff quite where he needed it to be today. Did you know that there was a possibility that you'd come into today's game, and what was the kind of strategy going into this one?
You know, our coaches have been letting me know that I'm on call pretty much all day for every game, and I finally got the call today, and I was ready to go. Just trusted my stuff. I saw the previous guy. He did all right, struggling a little bit, but just went out there and believed in myself, and that's all it was.
You give up 5 hits and only a run, and that was all in the 6th inning, so you came in, it seemed like there were maybe a couple of jitters there for you, and it seemed like you weren't getting off on the right foot, but then after that was absolutely fantastic. 3 scoreless innings in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning to pick up the win. What was the adjustment you made after that 6th inning to be able to settle back down and kind of figure it out so you could get this team the win and move on to the finals?
You know, I honestly didn't change anything. I felt like that first inning, I was throwing what I wanted, where I wanted, and a couple of things didn't go my way, but I didn't let it bother me and just kept on trucking for the rest of the game.
You're a Yale Bulldog starter today for the Falmouth Commodores. Is your college teammate Scott Politz. What's it kind of like playing against guys that you're going with all season during the spring, but now you're going against him during the summer?
Oh, it's a lot of fun because now I have bragging rights for the rest of the year after this game today. But he's a great guy. Love hanging out with him. He's a great guy to have on your team. Helps everybody out. But it's fun to go against him today and get that win.
A couple of times you got yourself into a bit of a sticky situation, couple of hits here and there scattered throughout. How do you kind of change that mentality and lock yourself down when there are runners on base, knowing that it is a close game?
You know, you gotta control the damage. A couple of guys get on, you can't let it bother you. If it gets in your head, you're done. The first time you think about it and you start thinking negatively, you're just toast at that point. So you just gotta block it all out and keep going.
And it seemed like after 2 innings, we thought, okay, we're going to see another pitcher come out. After the 3rd inning, we thought, all right, definitely, somebody else is coming in for the 9th. How do you keep that mental fortitude with you to be able to go 4 innings strong and pick up this win? And how do you really keep the physical fortitude as well?
You know, coming in and out of the bullpen, no matter what inning it is, I expect to finish that game. And with that mindset, then you don't have to worry about, if I get in trouble, I got a safety net. Then you expect to go the whole game. Your body will meet the demands that you've been asked, and things will work out for you.
Cameron Cannon, the right-hander out of Arizona, the final out of the game, flies out to right field, and Jacob Goldfarb, that ball comes off the bat. What's the thought process going through your mind? You know it's probably going to be caught. How exciting is that for you, knowing that you just willed this team on to the championship round?
Oh, I was so excited. Coach Lawler came out, and that was pretty much told me that would be my last hitter, so I was going just emptying the tank on him, and I'm just super excited that we got him, and we get to move on, hopefully get a ring out of this.
Alex Stiegler, you know, you weren't here the whole summer, but you are coming up in probably the biggest situation the Gatemen have had. An absolutely fantastic day. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Alex Stiegler, our player of the game, picks up the win today for the Gatemen on the bump. Came in and threw 4 stellar innings of relief for the Wareham Gatemen. 5 hits, just 1 run across against him. He is the reason the Gatemen won this game today, along with Austin Shenton and a couple of other guys on the offensive side of things. The Gatemen now await the winner of the Eastern Division Finals series. They were rained out today. They were supposed to play Game 2. Right now, Chatham, a 1-0 lead over the Brewster Whitecaps. Brewster trying to get into the finals for the second straight year. They were, of course, last season's champions. Meanwhile, Chatham coming at you with probably the best offense left in the league. 5 home runs yesterday. Spencer Torkelson, a special player, could be on the horizon for the Wareham Gatemen. We will have to see how this one plays out, and we'll have to see how really the championship series works out. Because right now, if Brewster is able to win Game 2 tomorrow and force a Game 3 against Chatham, there's not enough days left to play a 3-day series here on the Cape. You have to be finished by Monday. You have to be done by that day. So we will see how things play out. A lot of scoreboard watching going on tomorrow for the Gatemen, but tonight they can look at the scoreboard and say, hey, we are the West Division champions once again. A 7-4 win for the Wareham Gatemen over the Falmouth Commodores. 7 runs on 11 hits and 1 error for the Gatemen. 4 runs on 9 hits and 1 error for the Falmouth Commodores. We thought it was going to be a pitching duel. We didn't really get that until the end of the game, and Alex Stiegler comes up big and picks up the win for the Gatemen. All right, that'll do it for us here at Gov Fuller Field at Arnie Allen Diamond for the final time this season. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. We want to thank everybody involved in today's broadcast. Our producer, Trevor Russo. Our other producer, Cam Gonsalves. Our sideline reporter, Mary Orders. Our 2 play-by-play broadcasters today, Henrique Demore and Cam Stewart, as well as our beat writer, Ian Visser. And hey, why the heck not? Our videographer, Dan Longton, always here for moral support. We're not sure when the next game's going to be. Could be from 2 days from now, could be 3 games from now. We'll just have to wait and see how everything turns out. But nonetheless, the Gatemen can finally call themselves West Division champions definitively here in the 2018 CCBL season. I'm J.D. Rachi signing off from Gov Fuller Field here in Falmouth. Once again, the final score, a 2-0 series sweep for the Wareham Gatemen over the Falmouth Commodores in the West Division final, 7-4 over those pesky Commodores.